All right, cool. And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast. I'm your host, Harris, a.k.a. Monoxide, man of many automotive aspirations. And this is going to be an awkward intro because now I got a co-host for the first time in, 15 episodes now. So to my left here, I got Dan Decker, Gunnick Garage, man of many Mustangs, introducing you as my first time part-time co-host. I don't know how to describe it. So
basically whenever I can make it is when I'm going to try and get out here. So obviously 4 kids, I'm an hour away from here, so it's a little harder. But
yeah, well, I think it's awesome to have you on here just because I don't know if many people know the story. So actually when I was looking to get a dyno run in the background, I actually wonder if that gets picked up. Oh, yeah, it gets picked up just a bit.
Holy cow, that's part of that production value.
That's part of that production value.
Yeah.
But so anyways, so back when I used to do the Whiplash podcast however long ago, and then I wanted to, took a break from that to start the Monoxide podcast, and I was like, well, I kind of want to co-host, and the 2 names that came to my mind was you and Sean, but I ended up just reaching out to Sean because he was like, 5 minutes away, and I didn't feel like driving an hour and all that stuff, so it's kind of funny how we've come full circle.
Yeah. Well, Sean was great, so it's
he's a free agent now.
Yeah. All right.
But nonetheless, okay, let's see how this goes. Do you want to introduce what the show is?
Sure, I can try. So just from listening, and I just looked at the camera. Is that bad?
No, don't worry about it. Don't
worry. This is the Monoxide Podcast where we go beyond the meat, and we kind of. You're hanging out at a car show, you get to chatting with somebody, you see them for 15 minutes, they get distracted, or they see another car, somebody else grabs their attention, and this is just a way to kind of pull our local people aside and get some one-on-one time with them for a little bit, and just to get everybody introduced a little bit further. All right,
we're going to restart the episode real quick. No, I'm kidding. That was perfect. Perfection.
All right.
So,
all right.
That said, I want to introduce our guest 10 minutes later, Mr. Mike Johnson, 651 man of
my garage. Right? It's my garage. 651 my garage.
My garage. Okay, 651
says 651 garage, which
well, because
fine.
I see your shirt and like
if you type in 651, I will pop up. So.
Oh, did you like fix it on like your SEO?
No, it's just every time you type in 651, like YouTube or whatever, it's just like my garage. Boom. Mm-hmm. But it's all right.
Yeah, I really wanted to get you back here because now we're almost 50 episodes later since you. I think you were episode 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah, one of the early ones. Test and trial.
Yeah, test and trial. We've come. I mean, obviously now we got video. People haven't seen your face before for the most part. The only time they see your face is when you have a bucket hat and put bus links on them. But I really wanted to get you back here because we just had an entire car season. We had you back on in March. Now it's November.
Yeah.
Crazy how time flies. So I guess tell us a little bit about some of the gapping that's happened this year.
Yeah, so honestly, I've really only been out 2 Power Cruise events. First Power Cruise, second Power Cruise event, and I really wanted a car that can compete because last year I was at Power Cruise, obviously, and I got my feelings hurt, being at 750 wheel, it's no slouch, but it's like, okay, well, I need the next level, I need the next step. What's the next step? And just so happened that ESS said, how about you give us a try? I didn't reach out to them, didn't say nothing. I was just joking about it on my channel. Like, I want to try something new.
And ESS is your new supercharger,
yes,
right? What did you have before?
Vortec.
Vortec, okay.
And ESS is pretty new even into the industry, correct?
In the industry, I would say no because they're mainly out in Europe. So they're big in Europe. But as far as like coming over to the States, they're fairly new. Okay. And then jumping into like domestics and whatnot, they're still, I would say, fairly new. At least within the last 5 years or so.
Okay.
Because everyone obviously knows Supercharger, Vortec, Paxton. So those are, I guess, the American brands, and that's just what you're going to hear. But I guess if you go over to Europe, all you hear is ESS.
Interesting. So what do they typically pro-charge out there? Just Beamers or something?
Yeah, actually, BMWs. They have a kit for an R8, just supercharged stuff. So I was like, dang, that's kind of cool, actually. So
you know how nasty that would be, like a pro-charged or not pro-charged, ESS charged.
Yeah, Ben, what's his name? Ben something. He had that purple GTR, and now he's got some sort of BMW. I forget his name.
Oh, it's like that was like Boris or whatever from GPP.
Yeah. So he actually has an ESS in his car, and we were joking about it.
He does.
I'm pretty sure. at Tuner Evo. He's like, oh yeah, we're joking about this Supercharger stuff. And he's like, I actually have an ESS in here. I have to actually verify because I don't want to say too much on this page or on this podcast. But like, I'm pretty sure he does.
And now your reveal. No.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's like it's kind of interesting being in my position, especially as like previously being a photographer. Like I get all these ins, so like I know what's coming into scene like months before everybody else. But like that's kind of gone away because everybody thinks I might drop it on the podcast or an accident. But it's like I keep my secrets good for the most part. But
yeah, I don't care much because no one will ever believe anyone whatever I say anyway. So it's like my tuner or even the shop, Mo's and them. They're like, can we post your numbers? And like, yeah, I don't care because no one's gonna believe you anyways. As truthful as we are, every time I just post my videos, it just never works out. If I say my real numbers, it never works. If I lie, it never works. It just you can never win. So it is what it is. I just posted videos now, and it is what it is. Those that are local know. If you don't know, well, open invitation. We do power cruise once a year, twice a year. Anyone can come. It's a 3-day, event. So
get this a little bit closer, by the way, just like a little
right
bit.
Here.
You can pull the mic towards you as well. Yeah, there you go. Just especially if that dyno comes back, it's game over. Doesn't sound like you're whispering. So, damn it, I had a question. I just freaking lost it. I don't know, but I don't know what I was gonna say. What were we talking about?
The ESS or I forget what were we talking about?
We're 10 minutes in.
How did you ask me about that ESS? Like,
Well, we were talking about your numbers.
That's what I was going to say, numbers. Yeah, like the comments section, like you posted this like 2 days ago, and everybody's just like bullshit. Like the comments are always the funniest thing. Because like, what are you at right now? Do you want to reveal that? Well,
yeah, so the numbers are actually public between the Facebook pages, the dynos, my whole social media page. I made 949, and then or 949 to the wheels, and then 700. I forget the torque number, but a little over 700 torque to the wheels, and those are the real numbers. Last year, well, at least earlier this year on the old Supercharger, I only made 914 and then like 680 torque.
Okay.
So going to this new Supercharger was more for data purposes and obviously a new partnership, really. And I just said, okay, well, let's try it. It's a prototype design. No one's ran it. No one has any data on it. Very minimal data, I should say, as far as the public goes. And then they just said, you want to run it? Like, we like that you actually use our kit. So I sent in my old Supercharger for like a wear and tear analysis and everything. And then they sent out a new head unit for me to try out. Put it on. They said, well, do you think you make over 1,000? I'm like, I'm sure it will, according to the data, the specs of the blower. But I was like, I don't really want over 1,000. I don't care for more power. I just care about how well the car actually gets down, the function of the car, right? The thing, when you think about bigger blowers, people always assume like it's gonna be laggier, it's not gonna feel as good, all that stuff, right? But then when you threw it in the dyno, like, holy cow, this thing actually made like 50 more wheel horsepower and 40 some torque throughout the entire power band, not peak power band. It's just like, or peak horsepower, I should say, but like the entire power band. It was just that fat gain across the whole entire thing. So it is kind of scary. Just a little bit of 50 extra horsepower, 50 extra torque or so, it gets down pretty good.
You just had to say dyno, by the way.
Yeah, insert, audio here.
Yeah.
Dyno run.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can disclose what they're running right now. Well, it's one of Trey's old
it's
cars.
It's a B5 S4.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll give that a second. That is hilarious, dude. That's one of the reasons I usually like do it a little bit later in the day, but it's like whatever. They're having a company party here at Ratify Motorsport, host of the Monoxide podcast. So it's gonna be rowdy the whole time. So okay, so then what's the chart look like then? So you could show this to me after the episode too, and I could throw it in a highlight. But how did that curve look compared to like when you switch setups?
To my previous setup?
Yeah, Vortec versus ESS.
Wait, my ESS versus ESS, or
I guess ESS, and then also compared to your old setup.
I guess all my centrifugal. So I've only had centrifugal blowers on my car. So they honestly, the Vortec, the horsepower and the torque lines are almost identical. Like they follow the exact same curve. It's just when I went to ESS, it was like that much fatter of a gain throughout the whole entire power band.
Okay.
And then to this blower now, it's just an even fatter power band. So I have yet to show the overlay of the Vortec compared to this newest ESS, but I would assume it's a fair amount of, fat gap in there. And it's not like a turbo car where you get peak horsepower, per se, or even this. What I was gonna say, like, it's not. I guess when people compare like horsepower and peak numbers, well, I should say when people compare horsepower numbers, like they always talk about their peak horsepower. We always I like talking about power band because when you look at someone's power bands, like that's really gonna determine who's gonna gap.
Yeah, you want that consistent pull, not right at the very top end.
Right. And when I raced an 800 wheel Civic, and there was like, oh my god, well he's gonna gap. He weighs like, mid 2,000 pounds, over 800 wheel, but then it was neck and neck during the whole time, and I was like, let me see your graph. And of course, he made that 800 the very peak, the very last little bit of his whole entire RPM range, whereas me, I had the whole entire power band going all the way across. So this is like, well, obviously I knew that.
Right. And then what was his? Do you know what his torque number was?
No, I don't know his torque. I wanted to say it was only like 500 something.
Yeah, that's
torque.
What's great about the Coyote is it just it's almost neck and neck with the horsepower gain. It's right there. So even if your car's heavier, it just muscles it all the way up there. Yeah,
and then paired with the 10-speed, I sit and peak optimal power band the whole entire time, and my car is not light, especially at Power Cruise. It is not light. With me in there. I would say it's about 3,900 pounds, and then talk about full tank of gas, and then honestly, I carry 3 extra passengers the whole time. I'm a fully stacked Mustang in there. Like we are not light by any means. Like we are past beyond Hellcat territory.
You're the Mustang that brings the crowd with him.
I put the crowd inside my car. So I always tell people it's no guarantees, but we're out here having fun, and honestly, a lot of new people that have never been to Power Cruise, the MC like throws people in my car like, oh, go for a rip in the Mustang over here, like it's loud. You guys will have fun. But that kind of goes neck and neck to, or hand in hand to, like some of my races that I've done at Power Cruise. Like, wow, I really took that guy and I had 3 extra passengers in my car. Or dang, I wish I wouldn't have had so many people in my car, because like let's just talk about Racing Ratified, right? Their Supra, it's I forget how much Supras weigh. But
I want to say 33.
Yeah, they're the white one. I forget what it weighs, but it's fairly fairly lighter than me, and you can only fit two people in there. And then when they ran me, it was a good race. And people are like, well, how did that car, keep up with you? That's crazy. There must be sandbagging. It's like, at some point, power to weight really matters. Mm-hmm. Well, I should say it really does matter, power to weight, but there's a lot more things that go into it, obviously.
Absolutely.
But, just talking horsepower and weight per se, they were easily, I would say, 800 pounds lighter than me, because I was fully stacked in there.
Here, let's see if I can get an Apple sponsorship real quick. Hey Siri, how much does a 2020 Supra weigh?
Total weight is 3,397 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, so
shut up.
That is fairly light compared to my Mustang. And then you think about putting Trey in there.
Okay, well, he doesn't weigh much.
Yeah,
but...
he doesn't weigh much. And then me, so two passengers in the Supra, they're probably only 3,600 pounds at very max, I would say. No, not that max.
36, whatever.
Yeah, so sure, I know you ain't that light, but so just that right there is. But at the end of the day, it's just all about having fun, see what cars do, and we're having fun. None of these races are serious, so when people see my races, they always think it's for money. I don't know why, but it's like, wow, you're really wasting money out there. You must be making tons of money. Or
I think it's based off of other people's scenes, right? Because people like to cut their own bias of I don't. For example, I don't know what the Detroit scene's like, but maybe it's a bunch of shit talkers out there, so they might just assume it's the same out here. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, definitely in
the internet.
It's the internet too. Yeah.
So everyone thinks my races are for thousands of dollars, or why would that guy even race you? I just posted up an Evo 9. Mm-hmm. He said he was I think just stock turbo, but I didn't know that at the time. How are you gonna know that when you got a Power Cruise? Right. Unless you sit there having conversations with the guy, but then they could be lying to you anyways.
Yeah, it's because you could have a conversation to everybody, or you could just go out there and just race.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. And I think that's the beauty of what I do is I just run it, and see what it does. Whether you're stock or highly modified, I mean, McLarens or Lambos, whatever. It's just nice to see it, because why not?
I think you did a race against Joe Sheepy, right?
Yeah, I raced Joe's R8. Yep.
Yeah, how'd that? Did you win or lose that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, I totally lost that one. Because I don't think Joe would ever give me that chance, that satisfaction of beating him in his twin turbo R8. I beat him from a dig at the airport way when he was stock, just barely. And then he was like, "I'm gonna go twin turbo this car, and I'm gonna beat you." I'm like, "What?" I'm sitting there like, "What the?"
There's something to be said about losing to a Mustang.
I wonder how many builds you've inspired. Like,
A lot.
really, with all of these races that you've done. I'm sure there's some people that went home and changed some things up for sure.
Yeah, Joe. I forget his last name. It starts with a K. But Joe, he has a Camaro SS, and I've raced him since the airport. That's where we met. And so he's got a Pro Charger on there. And so I've raced Joe at the airport. I raced him at Power Cruise last year, and then twice this year. And every single time he's changed something with his setup. He's like, I added more boost. I changed something up. We did this, we did that, and every time I've been able to edge him out, because I keep changing my stuff too. I think that's no one's ever gonna stay the same build per se, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just nice to see what your build does, whether you change it or not, or just minor upgrades. Right? It's nice to see the difference.
Right.
How's that relationship with ESS, by the way? Is it pretty loud back and forth? Like you guys just text at night or what?
Yeah, so Mo's and them, they've taken control over that. I would say, because it started out as me, and then I just said, oh, well, you guys are the shop, how about you guys talk to them, because then you can have more like professional shop talk, and you guys run the dyno and stuff anyway. So rather than me always asking the shop, like, I need the dyno, I need this done, or whatever, how about you guys just talk directly with each other? And then, because then they could explain things as far as like a professional level, because I'll just say like, oh, I made like 700, I made 800, or this is what I did. But then people at the shop was probably explain it a different way, or how much airflow is actually getting into it, and just all those
The nitty-gritty
professional-
stuff.
Yeah, the nitty-gritty stuff. So those are the data that I don't really know. I just know that well, this is what I made on 15 pounds of boost. Really, right?
So who's doing the tuning then? Is it a remote tune?
Yeah, remote tune from Majid. He's out in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So I'm not tuned by anyone in the States.
I heard those guys. So we had Sam on 8 episodes ago or whatever. He said, "Is that Sam's kind of go-to guy?"
Yep.
Yeah.
So they do direct business with them over there. So any Mustang really that comes in, they're pretty much tuned by Majid there, and I have nothing against it. I mean, my car gets down.
No, I follow them, and they've got quite a bit of successful stuff that they've got on their social media anyway. And I think that's where Mo had talked to me about using them as well when I was talking to him. So,
And I just think that's nice, and I can see the data on the data log. If I'm at the track, whatever I need, I data log it. I can see it. Whereas like Lund, they lock all their information. So if I need to see anything, I have to send it and wait for a reply to how my car is. Maybe that's another tier that I have to pay for them, so I could see my information. Because how do you know if you have issues, you're a misfire, and you're at the track? Oh, I need to know now. I need to know where to go, especially like dead fuel pump. The second Power Cruise, I had a dead fuel pump Friday night, so we drove all the way back down the cities, grabbed a new one, drove all the way back up, installed it, and then that was with Sean. I was riding with Sean during all that, and then installed it. It ran great the next day, and then it died again, and then just stuff like that. Like, I don't have time to sit and email, because then if I would have sent that email, per se, like another tuner, I would have been done the whole week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to figure out what had happened to my car.
yeah, I talked to another local tuner one time, and he's a tune that I had. He was trying to help me, and he couldn't get in. Everything was locked, and he said he doesn't ever do that. He says, your tune, you paid for it. Why shouldn't you be able to get in and whatever? So yeah, I don't like when they do that either.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's what I tell people, but I don't know. It's just whoever you want to rep. I don't have anything against any other company, but at the end of the day, are you going to work for me and what I need you to do?
Did ESS have any say in, or asking like who you were tuning? Did they offer any services or?
Yeah, so ESS has their preferred tuners. So I think it was like Lund and Vanguard or something, and then some other company. Majid is not on the list,
Right.
but they all knew that I was tuned by Majid from the beginning, and so I don't know. It just kind of all worked out. And when I posted my first ESS numbers, everyone's like, "Well, you should have went with Lund. You would have made an extra 40 more horsepower." But then I'm sitting there laughing. It's like the exact same setup tuned by Lund. It made like 50 less horsepower on the same dyno.
Really?
Yeah. So I was joking, but then at the end of the day, anyone smart that knows anything about dyno is it's a tool. There's a lot of skewed things that can happen. I don't know if that's the right word, but like
They fluctuate too.
yeah, there's a lot of fluctuation. I don't know if he had the same DA. What if he wasn't on E85? Tire pressure. There's so much different things that can go into it.
You can definitely ramp up. I was talking with somebody who will probably never be on this podcast, but I was talking with them, and they're like, there's so many of these guys that just pump up their numbers just to show off the sheet. Like, they're just sheet warriors.
100%. And I get that all the time on the ESS page. As much as I love the ESS guys, man, they're ride or die Lund guys. I mean, nothing against that, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, bring your car up here. Let me see what it does, because I'm a strictly 40 roll guy. You'll never catch me really doing 60 rolls unless it's like just me goofing around, or you will probably never catch me doing digs unless we're having fun at the airport, right? Because that's where I did my digs. Just soft launch, no prep, no burnout kind of crap, just having fun.
Why don't you do 60s?
It just doesn't feel good. Like 40 rolls, I could pump out like 1.3 G-force. I mean, it feels great. 40 rolls feel amazing. 60 rolls is just like blah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think most people do 40, I think, right?
In Texas, it's like a strictly 60 roll game.
No, Texas is 80 roll.
60, yeah. So a lot of people that watch my page, actually, they're like, dang, bro, like, how in the heck did you take him? Or like, because I do race a lot of higher horsepower, higher torque guys here. And I was like, well, how did you take him? Like, send him a 40 roll. He makes more power than me, but I'm going to play my game. I'm not going to give that big turbo the chance to, be fully spooled at 60, 70 roll when I know I can get him down low. And if he sends it, he's just going to spin anyways. So I'm going to play my game. And at Power Cruise, that bridge is a 30 roll, 40 roll game anyway. So
Yeah.
it kind of just works out to my advantage of what we have up here and what I like doing.
That's fair. I remember seeing like 80 rolls for my first time, because like that's when you start talking about those 2,000 plus horsepower cars, and not all of them do it. A lot of because it comes down to how the car's built. Like a lot of these guys can still do 40s and 60s, but when I heard about 80 rolls, I was like, geez, you gotta be making some steam, because like if I did an 80 roll in my little hoopty, like I'm out at 110. Like it's the shortest race ever.
Yeah, your car is screaming for dear life already. And I always joke with guys, because like you talk about like the Nymph Vipers or some of these GTRs that are making 1,200, 2,000 up here. They're doing 45, 50 rolls.
Yeah, my first time doing probably I think a 40 roll ever as a passenger was in an Nth Viper, and 2,000 horsepower build, and it was 38 degrees outside.
Yeah.
We did a 40 roll, blasted by this limo, like anti-lag, gone.
Yeah.
And it's like it hooks, it's gone. So it's like it really comes down to higher boost comes on and all that stuff, but all that fun stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it, and like I said, you gotta just play your game. When it comes down to it, once you start getting these higher numbers, you gotta play your game.
Well, it's like the GTRs, right? Like they're always gonna win at 40 rolls, but it's crazy, dude. There's so much like play your game.
Yeah, definitely. And people hate that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really like to try to go to Texas and try to compete against them, but we'll see what happens. I know Mexico Racing League has talked to me many, many times about coming down, and I just keep telling them, I know you guys are all like twin turbo, like 1,000 plus, build block, build trans, but like I'm gonna throw you a 40 roll. They're like, no. We're never giving you that chance. I was sitting there laughing, like, well, you probably never see me then.
So why do you do so well at a 40 roll then? Like, is it just how the car's built, or
just how it's set up? We actually did do some suspension work. So when I was 750 wheel on the Vortex setup and watching my other friends with their Mustangs, and because they're they're all Whipple, or they make way more steam than me at the time. So I always joke like I'm the slowest like 1080 boosted 1080 and up here, and I would say that's pretty true, because I'm the gatekeeper, and if I lose, I got other guys. But no, so they did like all my testing, so all the testing for me. So I watched them race, have fun, and like, okay, well, you're hooking, or like you're winning a lot of races. What's your setup? What's your bread and butter? And they're like, well, they're all century blower guys that are really taking the scene. They're not twin turbo, no, they're not Whipple. I'm not saying that those cars can't compete, but just from what I've seen and what runs at night, it's the century blower guys. They just get down and they're consistent. You talk about all these back-to-back hits all the time. It's always been the century blower guys. So I don't know what to really say. I'm not saying twin turbo ain't fast, but I mean, I've raced a twin turbo at Power Cruise. I specifically sought him out, and we ran it probably like 10, 12 times, and same result every time. But then, that's kind of a different subject. But just going back to it is just finding out what works and just copying it.
Yeah.
Why would I try to reinvent the wheel when there's some people that have already had success? And I think that's basically it. Just copy paste. I mean, we've done some other things that didn't work, but now it's just a waste of money.
That's so nice about your platform, though, is because the 5.0 platform is so supported. Like, there's so many of you guys out there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, your wife's car is pro charged, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I was going to touch on. There's a boost isn't just boost. There's an application for whatever you're doing. So whether we talk to Mark, he said he would do nothing but a twin screw because he does road racing stuff. I mean, that's what he likes to do. So he needs that torque and that low end. So I have a Whipple car and I have a Pro Charge car. My wife's car is Pro Charge. So, and it does. Mine comes alive right out the dig, and hers needs, I think Mal's car on a 40 roll would be great because she's got whatever the lowest trim Pro Charger is on it, and it takes a minute for it to ramp up. But then when it does, I mean, it pulls hard like a freight train. It's and it sounds way cooler than my car.
No, I think that's one of the things where I wanted. Is like, I don't want to blow my tires off every single hit. I don't want to worry about, am I going to spin this time or not? So, I mean, I still make over, well over 700 torque, which is plenty for the street, but at the same time, it's not 900 torque like a Whipple or a twin turbo car where you get all that crazy torque.
You have to manage it.
Yeah, and it's just that much more you got to drive the car. I'm not saying you don't have to drive the car, but for what I do, 700 torque it's plenty. It'll scare you still.
So, okay, wait, did you have your suspension set up at the beginning of the year when you were on the last time?
Yes. So over winter, when I went the whole ESS route, I just said, well, if I'm adding 200 more horsepower and like 150 more torque, I need something that's going to be able to plant it to the ground. And so I was sitting there talking to Dave Rasmussen. It's like, we should try this. We should try this. And I was like, okay, let's try it. He's like, I'll even install it. We'll set up some custom alignment specs, and I think I know what's going to work. So I was like, okay, I put my trust in you. You roll course, you do all this sort of racing and stuff. And I talked to my own guys, and they do a lot of street stuff. And I was like, I want what works on the street because that's what I do. Or per se, I don't do digs, I don't do drag racing or anything. So I don't need to be set up like that. I just like to roll race because that's what I'm all about, and especially Power Cruise. That's what I'm about.
You'll save transmission and axles that way too.
Yeah, so that's another thing we could talk about too after this too. And I'm still stock trans, stock axles, drive test, the whole 9 yards, and 1,800 some pulls later, still the same.
Have you done 1,800 pulls?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
At least.
And what year's your car?
2020.
Okay.
So it's a fair amount of pulls, and people don't really believe it, but like, I have endless content to really still go, and I haven't even finished my Vortec content. Should we wait for this?
Yeah, we got a little bit of I can't wait to listen to this back because like I've done podcasts with them doing dyno runs before, but I think this might be the loudest one I've done listened to so far. I'd love to. Because like AJ's had his Calvo Viper on the dyno before. I'd love to hear what that sounds like.
Oh yeah,
that'd probably be rowdy, dude.
Right.
But anyway, so you have endless content, 1,800 pulls.
Yeah, so it's a solid platform, and it comes back to like the tuning's great, but being able to look at your data is also great too. Because when my fuel pump died at Power Cruise, I mean, I could have kept going.
Are you triple or Double pump.
So now we are on a triple pump.
Okay.
But I've always been double pump.
Boosted pump too?
Yep, boosted pump. Yep. Well, on the Vortec, we was just two on constant.
Yep.
And then we ran into some issues with dead pumps. Couldn't figure it out, so then we went to a Hobbs, still dead pumps at Power Cruise, and then we went to a whole radium hat where the pumps sit inside of like a little capsule.
Yep.
Ran great. We were able to do pulls, eighth tank, when I felt great, but then still had dead pumps. So now it's like, what in the hell can we really do? And I didn't really want to do the whole surge tank route per se. I mean, I know everyone's going to say you should just do surge and be done, but I was like, let's give it one more crack at it. The guys on a triple pump don't have issues.
Yep.
So here we are on a triple pump. So I don't know. If this doesn't work, then I guess that just means no crazy back-to-back pulls, or probably not do 80 pulls at Power Cruise. Pretty much what it comes down to. It definitely gets hot. And we don't shut the car off until it's lunch, really. I'm always out there constantly running, come back to camp, fill it up with a jug, and go out again. So,
do you have an N gauge or something you're using to monitor while you're in the vehicle?
I have the HP tuners, like the MPV device.
Okay.
So I'll just click
on your phone or something. You have like a screen.
Yep. I'll just click log, and then if anything happens, I can just plug the laptop in. We'll look at it, and I could see the information that I know what to look for, I guess.
You'll look at the information and send it to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Because I've had issues before, so I was like, okay, if this happens again, I'm looking here, So you look at that kind of data. But other than that, I mean, most of the stuff is like custom charts anyway, so I don't know what those numbers mean. So that's their own custom calibration that the tuner has set up for himself.
That is so crazy when you think about it, though. Like, I can't run 80 pulls. Like, how many 4-digit cars can you just wring its neck all day? Like, there's really, I can't think of any.
Honestly, out there, from what I've seen, none.
Is there any? Because like Corvettes will overheat after 2 pulls.
Yeah, every C7Z, they're waiting in line with their hood propped.
Yeah.
I'm like, you haven't done anything yet. I'm like, oh, it's already hot. It's already hot. Like, what do you mean it's already hot? You drove from camp to the line. Yeah, exactly. And then you watch them do 2-3 laps, and they exit early. I'm like, where you going? I just lined up. I finally caught up to you. I'm heat soaked. Or they do run it, and they're like, it's heat soaked. I'm just hot. Well, you already lined up, so you better run it. And of course, I have the big old camera on the back, so it's like they ain't got no choice. But yeah, honestly, even the GT500 guys had problems. I ran the orange one that made like 900 wheel. It was good. It did very good, but GT500s are just so much more heavier than a 5.0. So I took him, and then the big stretch, because you do one pull, and then like 20 seconds later, literally you're doing another pull down the big stretch, and that's not enough time for those twin screw guys to cool down. But for me, I mean, my IETs only jump up like 28, 30 degrees, and then 20 seconds to cool down. Man, I'm ready to go again.
So what are your temps at usually?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But they only jump up. Probably the max I've seen is probably on a hot day, probably 35 above ambient.
Oh, wow.
That's after like a full, like we're doing a full pull.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
I've
really
been
good.
triple digits over ambient on mine before. Yeah.
No, that's scary. So
Yeah.
that's what I love about the Sentry Blower. Like, I'm doing back-to-back hits all day long. I don't have to invest in cooling mods, ice tanks, inner chillers, like the Whipple guys, or twin screw guys, I should say. Like, even you talk about LT4 guys, LSA guys. They've invested so much money in their cooling. It's just like, what? At that point, how is it even efficient if you spend all this extra money and whatnot? You're just battling heat the whole time.
Did ESS provide you an intercooler with their kit then?
Yes.
They got something pretty
substantial? So when I went ESS, they were like, we got this new prototype intercooler coming out. I'm like, how big is this one? Like, I forget the actual number. I think it's 30% larger than their standard what they had.
Oh, wow.
So then I was like, well, you might as well throw one of those in there too for me, because I do a lot of back-to-back hits, and I think this would be great for me to have to try, because I actually do race the car. And they're like, perfect, awesome, let's send us the data. I'm like, okay. So that's pretty much how that worked, and they were just so stoked that a person that actually runs their car, not just once or twice at a drag strip, once a month, I mean, we're talking about we did 80 some pulls the first power cruise, at least. And then the second power cruise, I mean, we got cut short because of dead fuel pumps. But we still managed to do 50 some pulls or 50 logged races that I'm still working on. I think we just started Power Cruise 2 videos. So, and I haven't even finished all my Power Cruise videos from when I was on the Vortec. So, I mean, it's just like, I really want to go back to the Vortec videos and finish those. But then it's like, I'm already on this whole ESS platform. And for 2024 season, people will want to see the ESS G3R content.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Dude, it's okay. Hire me as an editor. Let's make this happen. We'll talk business after the podcast.
For sure.
Because I feel like that'd be super beneficial to ESS as well to see these. Again, you ringing the shit out of this car with their blower. I mean, it's just
it's so, I don't know what the words like. I'm just, it's lighter. It's just more efficient. It just works great. All done on a 6 rib. And nothing against Vortec, but like they messaged me after they found out I was going ESS, and they said, "Why would you run that crap?"
There's a lot of hate out there on ESS. I think it's because they're new. I know somebody who's sponsored by ProCharger is very much dragging them through the mud right now. And you know what? I'm seeing people out there. They're really enjoying what they've got, and I'm not sure. I think they may be a big player in the market.
Oh yeah, they're dominating the market now.
Yeah.
And everyone's going ESS, and it's like, why would you? The install is easier, the maintenance is easier. I mean, you're doing it all on a 6 rib, just comparing to Vortec's blower, the same blower that's comparable to the ESS G3 needs an 8 rib. So I was like, well, then I got to do a whole 8 rib conversion.
Those aren't cheap either.
No, and then they were like, yeah, we'll give you that. We'll give that to you. I'm like, yeah, but I gotta do an 8 rib conversion. I don't think you understand. Like, I get it. Like, you'll give it to me for free, but I don't want to mess with that.
I love that they're hitting you up like a jealous girlfriend. They're like, please come back to us. We'll give you an 8 rib setup. Yeah.
And I kid you not. They said when you're done running that crap after a month.
Yeah. I remember you showing me the screenshot of that.
Yeah, so that was. I still think that's so mind blowing. And honestly, just from what I've seen, just between the maintenance and the belt swaps and the fluid swaps, because they're they have their own encased like fluid, so you don't share like oil or cooling with the engine. But like even that was a hassle on the Vortec. I had to take off my throttle body and crap, and it's like, really? And ESS, everything's just like right there, and the install and everything is just simple. So why wouldn't you use it if it's that much more lighter, efficient, makes good power, and maintenance is like hassle free? It's just it's a no brainer.
So what's the argument against it then?
It's just who you want to rep, I guess. I mean,
really,
it's just ESS is new.
The new kid on the block.
They're not American, I guess. And I don't know how much.
Where are they based out of again?
From Europe.
Europe. Okay.
So I think they had some races where they were sponsoring some like high level people, and don't quote me. This is from the guy who I'm friends with on Facebook. That I think they had some things come apart at a couple like sanctioned races too. So some people were whatever. Again, it's all on who's going to drag their name through the mud and who you're following and stuff too.
Was that a while ago?
It might have been. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, it's always interesting. That's the thing, dude. Like, I talk about this all the time. Like, I don't know if you saw the post I made yesterday. Was it today or yesterday about the, because I blurred out the names of the shops or whatever. Like, basically, like, somebody just talking about, like, oh, my God, I'm listening to that podcast. I'm starting to piece together, some of these shops or whatever.
Yeah, the shops, yeah.
And, like, I shit you not, like, half the shops in the city hit me up. Is it me? It was hilarious. But my point being, it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, somebody will... You can't please everybody.
No.
So it's like, like that one guy on Facebook. It's like he might have had like one bad experience, but then we see, Mike over here doing 80 pulls in a day, and it's like, well, who do you believe?
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, you're going to see what's out there. And again, when I first heard you went to ESS, I had already known about these conversations happening before that. And my first thought was, ooh, poor Mike. And then, but now, I mean, you're proving it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it feels good to prove people wrong. Try something new, but I also think that's a good thing is bringing a new company on.
Well, it's all development.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, and I think that's what's great about me is like I actually run the car. They want me to try it out. If it don't work, it don't work. I guess.
Right.
Whoopsies. But at the end of the day, it's like for me, it's like I get a free supercharger that I can go play around and have fun.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that, by the way. So I have so many questions to ask you. It's great. I was actually worried about it on the way here today. I'm like, oh man, what am I going to talk about? Like, how many updates has this guy done? Tell us a little bit how these like sponsorships of yours work. Because I remember on the last podcast we kind of talked about you making a switch from street racing to street racing, but on the track, kind of, with Power Crews and such. So just kind of tell us a little bit about how these sponsorships have come to fruition.
Yeah, so obviously everyone, I guess, always starts from street, I would say, to some extent. I mean, this cruising with the homies at night or whatever on the street or to church, whatever. It's like
To church.
we're gonna have fun, like you're driving a nice car, I'm driving a nice car. There's no doubt we're gonna have fun, right? But and then a couple people will start getting sponsorships, so I started asking, like, what are you doing that's different than me? Obviously I run the car, I'm proving the platform is great, but like, what differs? Like, we're on the track. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give that a shot. And then, I did get in trouble. I'm not gonna lie about that. But then I was like, you know what? I got all this Power Cruise content. I'm gonna start posting it up. I kid you not. Once I started posting up these Power Cruise videos, people were like, "Let's collab. Let's do something. How about this free stickers or this and that?" American Muscle reached out. You want some carbon fiber parts? I'm like, well, no, not really, because I run the car. I don't want to damage carbon fiber. Like, well, just let us know when you're ready. I'm like, okay, so that was in the back of my mind. And I was like, okay, well, what if I can get some cameras, get some GoPros? No, I actually reached out to Insta360 many times. Like, hey, I do a lot of 360 videos. Would you guys sponsor me a camera or two? Because obviously I shoot many cars and stuff. And they said, no, we don't like your content previously because of you did a lot of street activity and stuff.
Wow.
But nowadays it's just like that's all you see is people on the street hooning around with their cameras, and they're all sponsored. So that one hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wow. They said no to me, but here they are giving people cameras. They gave Trey a camera. I told Trey about this whole 360 camera thing. Trey was like, I'm gonna try it. Boom. They hit him up. They're like, we'd like to sponsor you. I'm like, I showed you this. So I actually tried contacting them, and they said no.
It might have been because like I feel like pages like that might have multiple admins. Might have been just the admin wasn't feeling you.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling the whole Mustang thing. Probably, I don't know. I hate him, but and then Coobs did it with his Audi, and Coobs like, I got sponsored the whole camera kit and everything. I was like, how can this be?
That boy's wilding right now.
Yeah, so honestly, that's the last time I ever hit up a company for like, can you sponsor me? Last time I hit them up, or any company. And then all of a sudden I just, you know what? I'm going to keep doing my own thing. That's fine that they got cameras. I'm hurt, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look past it. And then all of a sudden it's just like, just kind of like that. Just click, click, click. You want this? You want that? And then all of a sudden I was like, well, for the next season I got to spice it up. ESS hit me up. Like, try us. Okay. I talked to the shop, talked to Mo's, the tuning and everything, because being supercharged for 5 months and then switching up to a whole new setup already it's still pricey. Don't get me wrong. Just because I get things for free, there's a lot of background parts that you still have to buy, make the kit work, tuning, all that stuff. I still got to pay for that stuff.
Oh yeah, you took $7,000 off of your $12,000 bill, right?
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, people
it's
don't
still
realize that
expensive.
either.
And then it's like, okay, now I got a new supercharger shit that I have to get rid of that I just spent a fortune on, right? So definitely selling things secondhand suck too. You're losing money there because that's where I initially started, right? And then just from there, I just it's just a big domino effect. Going to this new supercharger, just like, we love your content. Thank you for using our product, what it's designed for. Keep doing it, and then it's just like, yeah, your videos did good. Like, you got 10,000 views, but the sales are probably through the roof. Honestly, I think ESS really blown up just through my videos. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure because every day I answer like 5-10 questions about, can you spec me out an ESS kit? I'm like, well, there's only like
Are you getting commission on this yet?
No.
Can we have a
I think I do.
It's time to have another conversation, I think.
Seriously, yeah.
Here, I'm gonna look right in the camera. ESS. Let's get this boy some commission. Let's get some big ESS stickers on the car. We'll go crazy with this. You're an official licensed salesman now.
Yeah. So I just think like it's just walking proof that the kit is good. I understand like ProCharger and Vortec and all that guys.
They work. They're proven.
They work. They've proven. But I just think that they're old technology. There's so much new crazy things that come out.
You're calling them boomers.
I know.
They got lazy, right? They didn't need to change anything.
They didn't need to change anything,
Right.
and they've been the same forever. But here we are, new with ESS. They're dominating the season. They're dominating the scene, and it's like, well, they got to do something quick because I guarantee you, everyone's going to ESS. If they want a Sentry blower, they're going to ESS. They're not touching ProCharger. They're not going to Vortec.
So you really like them that much after everything
Oh
you've
yeah.
seen?
What's the price point on it? Do you know like what their kits cost compared to like Vortec or ProCharger?
Yeah, I
ProCharger
think-
being on kind of the higher end.
Yeah, pretty much everything is, I would say, like $1,500 to $2,000 more than ESS.
Okay.
Well, as far as the same comparable size blower, CFM wise, I think they're a lot more expensive because I think picking up a G3 kit from ESS, I think it runs you like $5,900.
Okay.
That comes with everything that you need to get it up and running. So I was like, well, that's kind of a steal because when I bought my Vortec for the first time, it was like $7,800. And I was like, that's a big penny, and then you still got to do fuel system and everything after that, and it really adds up. So, like I said, an ease of installation and maintenance, it blows them out of the water. And why would I? The maintenance part like always kills me. It's like, damn, I got to change out a belt. Well, how hard is it to change the belt? Yeah, well, it's not bad but when you got to move all these parts, do all these things to change a belt, then we're having problems.
You're talking to a Supercharger guy. I've changed a many of belts. I keep one of those long, skinny belt deals in the. I've actually cut out a thing in the back of my car where it sits in there permanently.
Yep.
So yeah, I've done that. I've got 3 or 4 belts in the trunk.
And then people always tell me, yeah, you won't have the issue if you went twin turbo. Yeah, but how many twin turbo guys actually do 80 pulls a day?
Right.
None.
Well, we'll find out with Dave, right?
Well, we'll find out with Dave.
Okay. So I'm curious because Dave's going twin turbo, right? And we're gonna get him back on Where Are They Now podcast here soon too.
Yeah.
But because he just wrapped up that build roughly, pretty much for the most part. I think he's just dialing it in now. I think.
Yeah, dialing it in. Last time I checked, it's ridiculous. But like full spool, like 3,000, 3,200 some RPMs, and however much torque that is, like 800 some torque. I mean, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, this is a fifth gear 40 roll. It just blows the tires off. I was like, yeah, but Dave, that's cool, but you can't use it. What am I gonna do with that? Like, if I'm blowing tires off everywhere, like I can't use that.
Spinning ain't winning.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what he does with that because like he was telling me a little bit about that as well. But his goal with that car is well, that's the nice thing about turbo cars. Just click it down.
So he has, well, obviously he showed me like one of his higher maps, right? But for his whole setup and his tuning thing with the new Mustang PCM tech stuff now, you can do like boost. You can control the boost levels and everything just from your steering wheel.
Yeah.
Factory ECM and everything. So ECU, I should say. But yeah, all through the factory stuff. So he has quite the setup.
He was showing that when he was here at RAT last time. He was clicking through the maps on his deal by using the cruise control buttons, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, that's
They're learning
sick.
from the Euro people.
Yeah, it's so sick. And I was like, dang, if I went twin turbo, yeah, I would definitely do that. And I would definitely just be doing rolling anti-lag two-step everywhere. There's a reason why I don't have a twin turbo car.
Yeah, because he'll be going through turbos like hotcakes.
Yeah, and I guess that's another thing too, is why I never went twin turbo or a Whipple. And I had a CTSV.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole twin screw stuff because you're good for. Sorry, my lip is.
Don't worry about it.
I raced the CTSV a lot, and I went to Carl. They're known as TCP now. I said, listen, I raced this thing a lot. Like we're talking about like 2-3 poles in a minute, 2 minutes. He's like, well, it's gonna heat soak a lot. Like, well, just give me a setup where I can do 2-3 poles within a minute. Okay, just very basic. And man, those IETs were through the roof, and they stayed up there. They never came back down. And he said, this is what twin screw is like. People always brag about how much torque you can actually make. Yeah, I made a fair amount of torque, but like that's nothing after those 2 poles. Once once all that goes into effect, and all that timing and stuff happens, and your car's a dud. And for what we do, I wasn't a fan of. So I said, I'm not doing twin screw again. And then just seeing what twin turbo guys do up here, they're out once a month, then they're down for 2 weeks, they come out, they're broken again. It's just so many different things. It's like, well, how can that be that only Century guys are running the streets or running around week after week, day after day? So that's why I ultimately went this route. So nothing against it. I would like to try twin turbo because I guess that's like the big boy setup, you know. But,
Yeah, because like how high can you really go with a Century?
So a guy right now on my current Supercharger on a Bill Block built trans, he's like 1400.
Okay.
But that's on a 10 rib, you know, setup and everything. So I'm just like, well, I'm still on stock block, stock engine, stock trans, axles, drive shaft.
Yeah.
Are you running a crank support or anything like that too, or no?
No, so that's one thing I love about ESS is their whole bracket design. It sits on the same side as Procharger,
Okay.
but their whole belt design is totally different, so it doesn't cause any stress on the crank. So that's what, like, okay. So I just said, okay, that sounds good. And from what I've known, no one's had any snapping crank issues or whatnot. And that's what they said about the Vortec too. So that's why I initially went with Vortec.
Right.
Because you hear a lot of Whipple guys and Procharge guys snapping cranks, so they have that balancer. So I was like, I don't know. That's a lot of information for non-Mustang people, but there's things that work and things that don't work, or I just try to minimize my risks because I do run the car a lot.
And how poor have you been since you switched to ESS? Has it saved you a lot of money? This
No,
episode is sponsored
it's,
by ESS.
Honestly,
I might have a Whipple for sale soon, by the way.
honestly, once you get into Boost applications, it's all expensive. There's no cheaping out. I'm gonna save $200 by not speccing into this blow-off valve. I'm gonna run the cheap blow-off valve. No, you'll spend that $200 and an extra $800 on something else. You know, tires, wheel setup, just endless. Fuel pumps, spark plugs. You go through them a lot more. Oil changes, you do a hell of a lot more oil changes.
We had consumables, yeah.
Yeah, and brake pads. Well, at least for me, brake pads. Because, you know, you're doing 160 on the track and you're slowing down to, you know, whatever it is, 40, 50, pretty quick, depending who's in front of you. Because people don't understand, like, when they see me at Power Cruise doing these runs, like, well, how come there's 10 people on the track at the same time? You guys are crazy. Like, you've never been here, you can't talk. You know, because it's like several hundred people, I would say, that just cruise the track the whole time. And it's not one person or, you know, a pair of people that go down and which other clear and then they send the next two down. It's you guys are running, you know. So it depends what happens in front of you. So definitely go through brake pads like crazy.
Time to get some carbon ceramics too.
Yeah.
Is yours a performance pack car too? So it has Brembos?
It's all base.
Really?
Well, as far as it's a premium Mustang, so I have leather, heated cooled seats, subwoofer, digital dash. But then as far as like performance pack goes, I don't have the performance pack.
So it's in the Mustang what they call a PP non-PP. So
Yeah.
It's got all the premium package non-performance pack.
Yep. So
Yeah.
all the comfort stuff, and
Yeah.
that's what people don't understand too. I'm not a tin can Mustang running around. I got leather, I got heat cooled seats, and I always rip on these Audi guys here. They don't have cooled seats. I think now they do, but I was always clowning with them, like, your RS3s don't even have power seats or cooled seats. What's going on
Hey,
here?
you're in enemy territory right now. Easy.
I know.
Well, I see you out with your family a lot too, right? So like
Yeah.
you're not gonna get you explain to your wife that she has to sit in a race seat now and go out with you, and the
Oh,
AC
yeah.
doesn't work and all that stuff. So I am in the same boat. I take my kids and family with me all over the place. I actually have my track pack car. It had a rear seat delete. I put a seat back in it. So yeah,
I think it's great because my wife would sit in the passenger seat, obviously, and then I bring my two my drag slicks, whatever you call them, my slicks in the back seat, and then I have my son in the other seat. So and then my two fuel jugs in the little space in between. So it's like, how in the heck did you fit all that in there? It's like, oh, I made it work. You know, I drive the Mustang to the track, we race it, and we drive it home. I've never trailered it, knock on wood, but the Mustang is just that good. And I tell people I can't do that in a Corvette. I can't do that in the GTR. Just Porsches, I can't do none of that. And I really tell people, like, the Mustang does what I need it to do on a somewhat of a budget.
yep.
It just works.
So I've talked to Rad about like the Supra, for example. This is off air. I think it was like right after our episode. I was just curious, like, what it would cost to build the Supra the way he has it, because like I think that's kind of comparable to you? Like,
Yeah, I actually
range-wise?
spec'd out a super build
I remember you talking about that.
for what I wanted it to be, and whatnot. And I was just like, man, once you talk about a built trans or the pure trans 2, I was like, that's like my whole build in the Mustang already.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So okay, if you want to lay it out, because right now we're about to move some Mustangs at some dealerships. Coming from a Mopar guy, let's move some cars. But so okay, from what you have into the car to everything to have your build, just kind of run us through it.
Yeah, so let's just talk about everything like at MSRP, no discounts, no nothing. The Supercharger right now probably run you about $6,500, depending what you want. But at probably about $6,500. And the fuel system, $2,500. And then headers, about $1,000. So what is that?
That puts us at 9,000 so far.
9,000.
No, 10,000.
Is that 9?
Yeah, 10,000.
Is it 10,000?
65 plus 25 plus 1,000. Yeah, that's 10,000 right now.
So we're at 10,000. And then, so that's it. That's the main bulk. The Supercharger, your fuel, and then the headers. And then from there on...
Injectors come with the kit.
Yep, for the fuel system, yep.
Okay.
And then from there on, I was like, well, this is where you can really blow the money or really not, because then now you need wheels, right? How are you going to put the power down? And I cheaped out. I got the whole Race Star setup, $200 a wheel, whatever that is, back in the day. And so back in the day, yeah, I rocked just the 2 rears. So $200 a wheel. So and then Mickey Thompson, I forget, they're probably like $450 now for just one Mickey Thompson tire. So
ET Streets.
Yeah, street hours. Yeah,
Okay.
probably like $450. So that's probably another $1,500 at least, just between wheel and tire setup.
So now we're at like 11.5.
Yeah, 11.5, and that's it.
Well, what about suspension?
Oh yes, this much. So
Yeah, don't you try to sneak out on us.
I always forget because like I started out in the Vortex setup, and Vortex I was so bare bones naked, right? But now now on the ESS, I actually have stock spring, stock struts, the whole 9 yards. But I did do like it's called the BMR Bread and Butter 2 kit, sold by Lethal Performance. I'm sure you can find it on some other websites, but $1,200. It just kind of locks your IRS up and just kind of keeps your wheel hop to a very minimum. So you're talking about man, I forgot some of these names.
BMR makes a great setup, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Steeda, they all make a good stuff.
Yeah,
but,
so camber arms, toe arms,
Yep.
just you guys will look it up. BMR Bread and Butter 2 kit, get it installed, $1,200. That's all you need for suspension wise. I'm stock spring, stock struts, which is still mind blowing because people are like, why don't you go get Viking shocks and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, well, I don't really do drag racing. I probably could, but I don't know. I'm at that point where it works fine. For what I need to do, and don't really want to change it. I keep saying I'm done spending.
Sure.
What's on the list? So, like, if money's not an object, what's the one thing you wish you could do to your car right now? Like, what is? You have something
To
rolling around
upgrade.
in your brain that you're ready to pull the trigger on.
Well, I don't know. Like, the only thing I would do different next, or my next step, my next level would probably be built motor, built trans, twin turbo. That'd just be it.
That's the next logical step.
That's the next logical
so every
setup.
season is just more boost.
More boost.
Yeah.
But I'm at that point where I like what a car does as far as competition goes. Obviously, people do get faster and faster every year. But I think right about that 900,000 wheel horsepower mark it's fairly competitive, especially for me being stock block, stock engine, stock trans, axles, drive shafts. If I'm going to lose, I'm losing to a race purpose built car.
Oh yeah, because like that's when you that's that next tier, right? Like right at
Yes.
1,000, there's plenty of people right now, but like when you start going into that 1,100 range,
Yeah.
like that's where people are built.
That's my money. I could do other things with that money, and
That's a very big next step.
yeah, it's a very big next step. And
Yeah.
I was telling people like why I even got the Mustang in the first place was because I had a family. I actually built a house, for people that don't know. So it really set me back, and I could have bought that Lambo, the McLaren, anything stupid crazy, right? But I was like, what good is that going to do me when I have a family? And then I was like, I'm going to build me a house. And that house has gotten me so much further in life than a Lambo.
Well, you have a huge garage.
Yeah, so it's like an 8-car garage.
Nice.
People, I always joke with people about that too. It's like my whole neighborhood, whole development's all custom houses. I do live up north, but it's not like custom houses, custom $1 million houses. You know, these are your standard split entry houses that you just get to choose every aspect to it. And I just said, why would I do a $40,000 granite countertop option when I can do $10,000 and get an 8-car garage? That's logical. Like, that just makes sense. Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
And this is granite.
Yeah.
So nice.
Hardwood floors, $20,000 for hardwood floors, $40,000 for all granite countertops. I'm like, nah, I skipped that. So I did like laminate, and honestly, people can't even tell today. Like, they come in this house, like, this is so nice. They don't talk about, well, I wish you would have got granite countertops and hit this house, or I wish we got the hardwood floors. The laminate floors are very good today, especially having a newborn.
Oh, yeah.
And parties.
I was going to ask how old your kid was because they ruin everything.
Yeah. So it was between the markers, the spills, and everything, the
Yeah.
laminate floors, dude, they do amazing. And I would probably be crying if I had hardwood floors.
Oh, yeah. My wife and I go into a furniture store like once a year and get everything. We're like, we're going to buy this, and then we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
Because the kids will spill something on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so then people talk about, wow, that garage, though. Like, we need to see what's inside there. And they finally open up the door and like, wow, this is nice. I wish we would have had something like this. Everyone always talks about how big of a garage they wanted or need for all their toys. And
How many of my friends' houses I've been to, I've never gone home. Like, oh my God, I love their granite.
yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think I've ever said
I'll
that.
always talk about a garage. I'd be like, did you see his fucking garage?
Yeah.
Well, I think you offered to buy my house when you were just over here this last weekend. and we only were in the garage, in the shed.
Yeah,
we
'cause,
hadn't
like-
even made it into the house at that point.
Because like he was talking about like, oh, maybe he'll move like, further up north or whatever it is. I'm like, dude, your house is like in this perfect like little area like where you have a good spread of land. You have all these extra garages and shit. The house is like, it's what's a good term analogy for it? Like modestly
It's a
sized
split level. It's like what you're talking about.
Split
It's
entry,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And I'm like, you're still close enough to the cities without having to go way the fuck up north, to get, because that's the thing. If you want to do a crazy build, you can drive an hour and a half up north and land
Yeah.
is super cheap and all that. But it's like, so I'm like, yeah, Dan, if you ever consider moving, give me a call first because that's
Yeah.
perfect for what I need.
And there's no HOA there. So
nice.
I just said, I'm in a development, but there's no HOA, and I get what I want. But I don't know how far people want to move up north or if the location makes sense to them. But I just said, building custom house is just the way to go. And I got what I wanted out of that aspect and made my wife happy so she can support me in my car hobby.
Did you do your own contracting? So I know you're in the construction business.
Yeah.
Do you work for a big builder, or what in what
actually,
level are you?
So I'm a plumber, but I
Okay.
just said you guys just handle everything, and it just really doesn't make any sense for me to really.
So you
do the
used a
plumbing.
builder or somebody,
Yep.
and they went through that. Okay.
Yeah, I used a builder. They already had their own plots of land sectioned
Yep.
off, and I just said I need the biggest lot because I want this big old garage there. I'm like, well, this is the only lot that it's gonna fit on. I'm like, perfect. How much is that? It's actually the cheapest lot too. I'm like, perfect. It makes even better sense.
Yeah.
Because it was cut. The lot's cut goofy. It's like a triangle, which isn't really ideal because all the lots were all nice squared off lots, and it just happens this is the biggest lot that they had and the cheapest lot 'cause no one wants a goofy triangle cut lot. But it worked out great for me, and honestly, timing couldn't have been any better because I was going to buy AJ's C7Z back in the day, the big APR spoiler. I looked at a couple others, his cars. I'm like, man, this is really good. Yeah. And then my wife's like, you got to think about the future a little bit. You could buy that cool sports car, but what about later? All right. It's winter. I don't need to be in quite the rush, to buy a sports car. And then it just kind of all worked out pretty good. And the whole Mustang thing, I'll say it again. Like, I wanted a car that people would just hate when they lose to it. And it's just the Mustang. I was like, God, that people hate Mustangs. People hate Hellcats. And I was like, I'll try the Mustang.
So this is a question I thought about. I was going to ask you today. I'm a diehard loyal Ford guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, after having the Mustang, the success you've had with it, have you thought about giving Blue Oval another chance at like some other stuff? Are you now like shopping for F-150s, or like you're gonna put your wife in an Expedition? Now are we brand switching you over to?
No. So my daily is a CRV.
Okay.
My other daily is a Highlander, and then our truck is a Ram.
Okay. So you're not loyal.
No,
to
I'm not loyal to any brand. If it feels good, it drives good, the
Yeah.
car is good. But it's got to definitely serve its purpose, right? It's got to do good in its category what I need it to do good in. As far as my next platform goes, we kind of touch up on that. I want to try all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive turbo.
Okay.
So G80 M3.
Yeah, my only problem is to get into some of these platforms, it's big money. And
80K just to get the car.
yeah, and I was like, oh, man, I'm really scratching my head. So what other platform can do it? F-150.
Yep.
I said, I know exactly what that engine's capable of doing. I know exactly what that transmission can do.
That'd be great for ESS. Get yourself like a single cab F-150.
Yeah, they're not that much heavier than a regular Mustang. I think they weigh like, what, 4,100 pounds or
Really?
something. Yeah, they're kind of
You're
fairly
talking
light.
extended cab or not
No,
extended cab?
single,
you want
regular cab.
Oh,
single,
regular cab. Okay, so
regular
you're
cabs, or small short box. Yeah,
not gonna do crew cab, so you can get
the crew cab might hurt a lot of feelings though. You can definitely find the crew cabs a lot, but yeah, I don't know yet. I just kind of keep throwing that around. Like, that'd be pretty cool. A 4-wheel drive, some boost in that thing. That would definitely hurt a lot of feelings too. So I don't know.
Some guys out there running trucks like that. It's a good setup.
Yeah, no, it seems like it works great, and that all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive seems to do pretty good without anything major, from what I understand. Obviously, a lot of people run built trans, but I haven't had the need for built trans. But I also think it's like due to how I race.
So, I'm assuming you're talking probably a 10-speed truck. You're getting into
Yep.
a newer truck. We just had so Jarrett Bowen, who you know.
Yep, bone.
He's got somebody he kind of sponsors, Mike Roush, and he does a lot of racing. You probably know him. He's another orange Mustang guy.
Yeah, yep.
So he just blew his 6R80 up in his car, and I had a 2-wheel drive F-150 at my house that I had bought for the Coyote motor in it. We took that trans out of that truck, that 6R80. He had to build. Jarrett had to do a little bit of a bracket or something like that for underneath. We bolted it right into Mike's car. He says he's running cooler trans temps. He's shifting harder, and everything's hitting. He's doing like it's burning out in third gear when he hits third gear.
Huh.
So,
And okay, dyno run's done.
so you may not. I think that drivetrain's pretty solid if you wanted to just bolt on a supercharger and roll.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of companies, Ford from the dealership, is like, we'll throw on a Whipple, we'll throw on a Roush, give you a 3-year warranty, go have fun.
Yep.
It's like, man, it won't be half bad, actually. But everyone knows about them Roush or Whipple stock tunes. They're kind of doo-doo. But I don't know. I just kind of think that's pretty awesome that Ford actually offers support like that, though.
Yep.
I've been ranting about it for probably like 20 or 30 episodes, dude. Like Ford is just crushing it in the enthusiast game right now. Like
They
they're
are.
supporting us, car enthusiasts, like crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's great, too. And platform works great. I have nothing bad to say. I actually hated Mustangs for the longest time. I was a big LS guy. I finally got into CTSV. I was like, man, I'm going to be killing all these Mustangs, literally. No, that's not how I was when I first raced a couple Mustangs. I was like, dang, how fast is that? That's just a little bit of boost. Then I finally stepped into one. I was like, yeah, the hype is real. The hype is very real. And my current setup, I'm only pushing 15 pounds of boost. And then cranked over, almost 950 wheel. So that's something to be said there. My last setup on the ESS G3X, I was almost 18, pushing 19 pounds of boost. Which is a lot, it's significantly more boost than what I'm currently running, and I made less horsepower. So I just think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's weird when you start talking about PSI because ultimately all it just comes down to like flow and the smart people stuff. Yeah, I'll let them
that's
talk
a
about that.
whole nother category people don't understand either. Like when I raced the twin turbo 6466 10-speed Mustang, tuned by Lund. Let me emphasize again, tuned by Lund, 6466. E85 10-speed. He had the whole works, and then we raced at Power Cruise, and I got him every time, every single time. And I said, let me see that dyno graph though, because we're doing 40 rolls. We're not doing 60, 70, 80 rolls. We're doing 40 rolls, and you look at his power band, his torque hasn't even come on yet. Like, it's just starting to climb. And I said, by that time, I'm already gone.
Mm-hmm.
I already have my 600, 700 some torque at 4,000 RPMs. You just started building torque.
Chase is a race.
Yeah, so by the time he gets going into twin turbo, I'm gone. And yeah, he could have brake boosted or rolling anti-lag, but I think that's the beauty of the nature, right? You got to be able to drive the car. You got to know what the car does.
Mm-hmm.
Play your game,
Yeah.
But it's just because you make all that horsepower doesn't mean it's going to be fast. Like, you can give anyone a 9-second proven car, but if they've never driven a 9-second car, they'll probably be lucky to do 11s down the first pass, honestly.
I can't remember who I was talking to about this. There's something to be said about it being a driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of these guys, you can, like, for example, you can give me a 2,000 horsepower car. I will not be able to break into, even the 8s.
Yeah.
It's like, because I don't have the, driver mod for that. Like, it takes a while to get there. I showed him, because I've been practicing my brake boosting in my slow ass little egg. And I was showing him the other day, like, the difference between, me just, dropping it into third or second, whatever the instance is, and just flooring it versus brake boosting it. And you were able to tell the difference.
Oh, absolutely could tell the difference.
100%. Yeah, passenger seat's even crazier than driver.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yep.
there's just something to be said about that. Like, I do wonder how that race would go if he was brake boosting.
I'd like to try it again. I think Dave is the only twin turbo car that I know of that is being built, I guess. I think that's the word. Like, the only other twin turbo car that's around here locally that wants to try it out again. I don't know. Maybe there's other twin turbo guys around here locally that I don't know of, but I'd really like to get it on paper or on video, get the research done, because
Research.
yeah, we like to call it research. I love racing. I want to see what builds this versus that. I've raced a lot of different things, but like when you talk about is the Mustang platform, everyone's gonna say Whipple's the king, twin turbo's the king, or Century blowers are the king, Prochargers the king, right? Everyone is gonna say whatever they want to say, but as far as what I do, I want to see what car actually performs the best.
Mm-hmm.
Considering what I do, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. I think Dave would be the only person that I think of, but he's a whole different like tier than me. When I'm talking about racing other builds, like I want to race stock block, stock trans guys. Dave is like, he's kind of the build to the next level.
That's a whole
it's a
level,
whole
yeah.
nother build, And then I know there's another Dave with a Bill Block RPG, everything too. And I was like, yeah, well, you're Whipple, but you got a whole Bill Block and everything now too. Like, that doesn't really compare to me. It'd be a good race, I'm sure, but you're the next level already, considering your Bill Block. So,
well, Bill Block doesn't always mean. I mean, if he's running a Gen 5 Whipple, he could be spinning pretty good. But so like I had a Bill Block, but I was running 9.5 to 1 compression, so it actually brought my boost was way lower than it was when I had the 11 to 1 or whatever a stock Coyote is. It made a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
So and then sometimes your internals are beefed up. That doesn't always mean that they're tuned up and turned up like they should be.
Correct. But I think just for my sake, I just wanted like. Well, I don't know that. What if I never look at the engine, or I don't look at your boost gauge? Twin turbo guys, you never know what kind of boost they're gonna run at you.
Yeah.
Or I'm just on waist gauge, 7 psi, they crank out 20 at you, and like, But I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see where people stand for Power Cruise 2024. That's the only time you'll catch me out there, guys, is Power Cruise. So,
Well, you get 3 years worth of content every time you go out.
Yeah, I've been kind of joking around with Carl at TCP. He just pumped out another Z01 that made over 1,000 wheel, and I was like, and it's a 10-speed too. So I was like, I need to see that car run.
Oh yeah.
At Power Cruise, Carl was like, "Be careful what you wish for." And like, I love what they pump out. I love the cars that they do out there. It's like that's great to have a dedicated GM LSLT shop that just pumps nasty cars out there.
I completely forgot they have 10 speeds in those Camaros
Yep.
too. Why don't we see more of those?
Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's just because when you think about ZL1, you think about an older guy that just wants to roll gears, maybe. But I don't know.
The SSs, they also had the 10 speed, I think, right?
SS.
The Camaros?
Oh yeah, Camaros. Yeah.
Yeah, because
From what I understood, there was a collaboration between Ford and GM.
Yep,
that,
that's
so.
their like collab. They do good from what I understand. Yeah, they do great. I just don't ever see them. I just don't think that people like Camaros as much. But
Well, obviously.
I haven't really seen raced too many.
I almost wonder if it's just like easier to tune the Mustangs right now. I don't know.
I'm not too big.
I don't
I
even
just know that to get an LT4 to my level, it takes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Much more money than what I've gotten in my Mustang. And guys will joke about that all day long, but it's true. That's why I just said I can't do LS LT4 anymore. I just talk about whole heads, cam, and boost. Like,
Well, we were just having that conversation the other night with Derek and those guys and Caleb. They're still, that's great, and there's a reason why the Camaro's not being made anymore again. But they're outdated technology. I mean, we're still running a single cam. I mean, come on, dual overheads. Like, you got to get with the times, or you're gonna get left in the dust.
yeah, it sounds great. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I gotta tell my wife, like, I'm gonna be sitting in a Corvette just chopping. You're gonna be sitting there, and just boobies just bouncing, and you're gonna love it. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna like that. I'm like, oh. So I kind of got that dream shot down when I said, AJ, I'm not buying your C7Z anymore. I had big plans, I was like, I want to be chopping around. I think that'd be cool. I still think it'd be cool. One of the dream cars still to get is Corvette, but I just, for the performance aspect, like, you just can't do it for the better bang of the buck. It just the Mustang just does it. I keep telling myself I want to switch to a new platform, but nothing can do what the Mustang does for what I just said, what, 13,000 and do, what am I? I'm up to probably like 1,800 some hits. 80 polos at Power Cruise. Someone's gonna argue like, oh, my Honda Civic will do that. Like, no, I've seen plenty of Civics at Power Cruise. They don't last up there.
What happens to these Civics at Power Cruise? Tell us a little bit about that.
A couple have blown head gaskets, and I don't know. They just don't work. The two that I raced was a coupe and then an Integra. They just said they just keep spinning. They keep spinning and spinning, and then overheat. So I'm like, front wheel drive. Okay, I don't know what to say. Like, I really want to see a fast Civic up there. That was like on my list. I want to see a fast Civic. I've raced fast Civics somewhere else in Mexico, but I've never seen a fast all-wheel drive Civic up there. Because when you think about it, what we do, or what I do, we cruise the track. Most Civics are like, they've got like a 6-gallon fuel cell in there. I think Dre has like a 4-gallon fuel cell in his all-wheel drive Civic. He's only going down the track and he's parking that thing. He can't be cruising a 3-mile track. So I really like to see an all-wheel drive Civic at Power Cruise.
Have we not had any all-wheel drive ones up here?
I know there's a couple, but it just always seems like they're always down.
Yeah. Okay.
Just many issues, I guess. They'll run, but they don't run. I don't know. I want to see one.
Yeah.
For research, obviously.
For research. Speaking of research. Give that a second. Boom. Okay, there we go.
I got to see the McLaren. McLaren totally gapped me. It was faster than I thought.
Which McLaren was that?
It was black and had all the carbon fiber splitter.
Was it a GT or
720S?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 720S. From what I understand, it had exhaust and some E tune on there or something.
Yeah, so we went on a rally with GT, which is basically a tuned down 720S, and it's like you can get 1,100 wheel out of those suckers.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're 2,800 pounds either. I'm like, I was 4 deep in the Mustang. Dang, I was like, okay, that's kind of fast. But so then I got to see Kyle's Viper, and then Joe's R8. That was great, off the bucket list. I got to see Becca's TTRS. Really great car to see. Just all the ratified RS3s, all their cars. Really great cars off my checklist. Finally get to see something, crazy, because that's what I'm all about,
Is there other events around the country like Power Cruise?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
We're the only one that kind of cruises in the track like that.
Yeah, well, it's set up so well because I think we have one of the longest straights in the country, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just works great for what we need to do. I think they tried it somewhere else on a shorter track, and it just didn't work. Mm-hmm. I mean, 3-mile track goes by pretty fast. You do the whole lap in like 4 minutes. Cruising, just putzing around.
You could do something like that at Road America, but there's no way they're going to let that hooniganry go on over there. Have you been invited to other events? Are you planning on only doing what? Do you have like another idea of what level you might want to go to next?
Yeah, so the ice cream cruise is just in Iowa. I know some people in Indiana because I went to school there. So they're like, you got to come down for like a indie street takeover or a streetcar takeover. So I would like to travel, but it all comes down to money because obviously I'm not balling. But money, trailering, gas. So there's a lot of expenses that go into it. Like when you talk about just at Power Cruise, your ticket, and then I spent 55 gallons in those 2-3 days at Power Cruise. That's pretty expensive too.
Yeah.
Just a lot more things.
In this economy, gas.
Yeah. So that's pretty expensive. But I would like to travel. I know Texas people have been saying we want to see you in Texas. Kind of funny though. 2% of like my whole fan base is in Minnesota, which is kind of funny. But my whole fan base, I got a lot in Cali, Texas, and Florida, the southern states, and they keep asking like, when are you coming down? We want to see that thing actually run us down here because you could be fast in your state. But then, like, there could be other fast guys in their state, and they all think that they're fast. But then until you guys actually race, you never really know. People can guesstimate. Like, when I tell people I make 900, obviously they probably make 900 too. But my 900 and their 900 could be totally different with how elevation everything goes too. But I've definitely seen other fast cars. I've definitely seen other events. I really want to go.
Have you been to Texas 2K?
No, I was going to try to go this year, but then the ESS kit didn't get installed yet, and I didn't want to run the Vortec down at 2K because it's the Vortec, and I really want to try the ESS out. So, but I don't know. We'll see. I really like to try to go, but I got to get a lot of things in a row first.
Should we sell the 2-car trailer and get a 3-car trailer?
Yeah, we're actually going down with Caleb, who we're gonna have on here soon, hopefully.
Caleb
Eisenberger.
Yeah,
because he's got the ZR1 now, which
I can't believe.
I hope he revealed that.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I can't believe he never finished that C7.
It's a work in progress. Don't worry about it. But if you would like to purchase it, we can. I can be a broker for that.
I'm good. His wheels cost more than my whole entire build.
You'd be surprised at the deal I'd be able to broker for you. If anybody wants a twin turbo vet, hit me up.
His wheel setup, I was like, wow, dude.
Yeah, dude, that boy's got taste. He's got good taste.
He does.
Yeah, but we'll be throwing his ZR1 and then his GT500 onto a gooseneck, and we're bringing that down to Texas.
Yeah, I would like to get in touch with some people to see who can trailer my car down. Obviously, I pitch in and whatnot, but
good for you. We can get another trailer for you through Dan.
Let's see how this year goes. Let's talk next year because I'd rather kick that vet off and put another Mustang on a trailer any day.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go. Mose wants to see it run, and ESS would definitely love to see some 2K action because it's all.
What's holding you back from going down? Is it just like
it's financial?
So let's talk about ESS.
Yeah, they need to buy you a trailer.
ESS. I'm gonna look deep into the camera again. ESS. Let's get this boy on a sales commission. Let's get a tent down there. Let's move some fucking sentries down
Imagine
there.
if they put you in Texas, you start spanking people at Texas 2K. Like they're just gonna be printing money at that point.
Oh yeah.
Well, the problem is you can't record the street stuff then.
No, yeah,
I
would. Obviously, it really depends what I'm going down to do. I don't even qualify for 2K events, But it'd be interesting to see what else we can do down there. But people have got to be able to be okay with doing 40 rolls, Cause
even then though, because if your following is again in California, Texas, and all this, and everybody kind of gets together for this great festival,
yeah,
it's like what better proof is there? Like, even if you're not recording and spanking people down there, you're still down there vouching for the kit, which granted this podcast will probably help with that too, so I want some of that commission money too. But even then, down there you'd be able to actually have conversations with people. You just be like a sales rep for them is how I see it, at least.
Yeah, people actually want to see the car. I went out to Vegas, San Diego, and just me post on Instagram like, hey, I touched down in Vegas or San Diego. Everyone's just like, where you at? We're coming to find you. I was like, who can find me at the bar? People were like, yeah, we're on our way.
Have you found people?
Yeah, I actually have. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that is. And just even locally, I can't even go to grocery stores or Walmart.
Which is wild because you don't even show your face.
Exactly. People that know. And I think it's so funny. Like just the other day, I went to the liquor store to grab some drinks and stuff. And this guy was like, I seen your Mustang, I heard it, and I knew it was you. I wasn't even gonna stop in here, but I might as well now. And it's just like, okay. And then he says, okay, nice to see you, Mike. We'll chat next time. And I was telling my wife, like, I don't even know who that guy is.
I get that all the time, dude.
Like, yeah, but you guys are talking like you guys are best buddies. Like, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm a fairly open guy.
Dudes are super easy.
Yeah,
man.
we're easy. We're pretty chill. I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty outgoing, talkative, but
It's
yeah.
wild. Like for us guys, like we could make a new best friend in like 15 seconds. Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're like dogs. You're like, oh my god, best
Yep.
friend. So how many followers are you at on TikTok? Like,
TikTok's kind of died down. I think it's like 85,000. It really died down with the whole racing algorithm on TikTok. They just hate that stuff.
so then Instagram, you're also pretty up there too, right?
Yeah, so TikTok's 85 and Instagram is 62,000.
Is that where most of your following is then? Like that you talk to?
Yeah, I try to communicate and talk to everyone through Instagram. TikTok's like messaging system is just
Garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it's bad, but yeah, and then also Facebook. People.
Oh, because
talk
like you
to
can't you can't request to talk to somebody if you're not.
friends or
Friends,
following.
yeah.
So that's kind of annoying. And then I just started up a Facebook fan page that links my Instagram to Facebook, and then I think that one I have like 17,000. I just started that one in August.
The Facebook one?
Yeah, so
Wow.
that one's kind of really blown up the most, and
Is that through like Reels? I'm guessing.
yeah, just through Reels. So
Okay.
everything I post on Instagram goes to Facebook or to my fan page.
Okay, so they're linked. Okay.
Yeah, they're linked, so that also helps me with cross posting and whatnot.
So those are your three platforms you use, or do you do YouTube Shorts too?
Yep, I do. I just started doing YouTube Shorts, and that's one. It's kind of taken off pretty crazy. So
I told you, man. It's
I
wild.
should have been doing YouTube Shorts a long,
Yeah.
long time ago. And
Especially for your type of content too, because like every race, like I'm invested in it. Like when I watch
Yeah.
it, right? Because like I think one of my best shorts was actually a video of you when I said like it turned into a Tesla, like when you were passing that cop or whatever.
Yep.
It's like 50,000 views, but
yeah.
you have all this content, and a nice thing. So like. One of the issues that I have to worry about is if I post a different style of content and it blows up, then I get all these followers that aren't going to see that ever again.
Yep.
But for you, it's perfect because like you do racing content all the time. So your shorts and your long form are perfect. Like they work together. So I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, and then obviously I do a lot of. People are starting to say like I'm doing too many like partnership videos because like when a brand gives you their product, they expect like, let's just talk about like my X-Force exhaust system that I just got. All they requested was 2 YouTube videos and 2 Instagram Reels.
Simple.
And I was like, wow, that's a no-brainer. But I'm kind of, most of my time is, those I have way priority over like my racing videos because I obviously need to, they gave me a whole exhaust system. I better go do that video.
Yeah.
But, and then, let's see, like, but then at the same time, like I want to do my racing content, but then it's so hard to like get everything together because obviously I do go around, talk to people's cars, talk to people, showcase their car, and I really want to do longer YouTube videos. But then to find the time to edit, I mean, you understand editing. Editing a 10-minute video is like several hours depending on how it goes and stabilization. That's why I always tell people like you need a gimbal because when I'm big on blurring stuff, people that don't want to be on camera and stuff like. So I go the extra effort to blur people's faces.
That takes time.
It does take time, and some people don't really care. Like I'm just gonna throw everything on the internet. Who cares? Like, well, I don't know. I just feel like that's gonna bite me in the butt one day. When Joe over there doesn't want to be on camera, and I got him on camera doing something stupid, but in reality, I'm over here focusing, on you guys. So I don't know. It just feels like. I might catch a bad case.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's okay. Just hire me as an editor. Part 2. But no, so the reason I bring that up is like because we got old Gun at Garage over here trying to grow his channel here going into because like at the end of the day, it's like one of the reasons I want to have him as a co-host and why I've been pushing him to do Gun at Garage is because like you've always had Gun at Garage, but also like you're in that like beautiful position where. You have the knowledge, I'd like to think.
Just enough to get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have the resources. You actually have your own lift, which is super helpful. Like that's the other thing. It's like you have all these things that will help you do it. And I'd like to think you have a decent personality at least. So it's like all these different things. I feel like they would really mesh well together for like a YouTube channel. And then of course all the Like, for example, I don't know, did you see the video I shared last week of his where basically like he spilled the oil or whatever and his 7-year-old told him I told you so?
Oh yeah, yep.
Dude, that video is so funny. I'm like, that's the sort of stuff that, you should be posting. Granted, don't stage it, but
Yeah. I always tell people just be consistent and just keep doing it. You're already there wrenching or doing whatever.
yeah, you just got to record it.
Just set up a camera, and I shoot 99% of my things on my iPhone. I very, very rarely use GoPros to shoot because the battery just don't last long, and I don't know, just it's another platform you gotta like get used to.
Part 500 of me bitching about GoPro's batteries.
Yeah, so and then the only time I use GoPros is for my 360 camera when I'm out racing, and I have tons of batteries of those. Tons of batteries for them.
Well, you said they last a good bit too.
Yeah, they do last a good bit in the cold, not so much, but they do good for what I needed to do. But when I'm running and gunning, I do have my big A7 III, but I don't honestly. It needs to be stabilized, and running around the big rig is tough. And I don't know how these other influencers run around with the bare camera just.
Oh, like Kyle.
It shakes. I get a headache watching it and editing it. I get a massive headache. And I know you could do that whole warp stabilization thing, but then it warps your videos and too much for me. So I don't shoot like that. And the phones nowadays do a really good job of just capturing everyday stuff. But the one thing I want to say is just be you. If people are going to watch you, people are going to watch you. If they don't, they're not. And for me, when I first started, I had like 50 followers, 50 subscribers. I was like, man, if only I could get this whole Facebook group to subscribe to me or watch my content. That'd be so awesome. But then looking back at it, when I say it, only 2% are actually from Minnesota. It hurts. But at the same time, it's well, that's fine.
Dude, nobody will support you more than a stranger.
Exactly. And I get a lot of support from other states, and it just keeps pushing me forward. And, at the end of the day, I still say I'm Hmong, and I'm from Minnesota. And deep down inside, I don't know. I think that's what matters. I still have my roots. I don't forget where I started from. I started with the Subaru and everything. And
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I support the Subaru. So if you guys ever see those Subaru jokes, I started out there, I was big, and I'm gonna beat all these V8s. My little Subaru, man, it just never worked out, guys. Sorry to say. And then I got into V8s, and I do show a lot of support to the Subaru community a lot, and I love them still.
I love the way you said that. Sorry, guys, we lost the battle.
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes you just got to cut your losses and know where you actually stand. Just keep posting, keep being consistent, because a lot of people do say my content is garbage. I was like, man, I probably get that 90% of the time is that content's garbage. Why would you ever post that garbage? Obviously you're gonna win. Why would you post that? I'm like, it's content. I was out there racing. I'm at a track. I'm having fun. I'm just gonna post whatever I want to post.
Well, it's working for you, so that's why people get upset about your videos too. If you got to shoot an exhaust video, do people just think that you're just 100% doing this just for? I mean, you are. You're doing this for fun, but at the same time, if somebody's willing to give you some stuff and you want to shoot a couple of videos, people just don't understand how the world works.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's a great trade-off. I even talked with Carissa, right? I think she also got an exhaust, and she had to do 3 videos or whatever. It's I think it's a fair trade-off.
Oh yeah,
you're showing off a product, and if you like the product, even better.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer, and I tell a lot of people don't be afraid to record your car or shoot videos with your car, because someone's gonna see it. If you genuinely have passion and you do it, someone's gonna see it. And I don't know, it could lead to bigger, better things. And how many people have Mustangs? I mean, tons. There's Mustangs everywhere, right? But it just shows you that I'm just another ordinary Mustang that just, I don't know, I get stuff too.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see you go into one of the German platforms, but even though it has a higher threshold to get into, it would be, I don't know, man.
Will you stop trying to take the Mustang guys away and just let him?
It was his idea.
Yeah. I think you're doing great, Mike. I think you should stay right where you are.
I'm enjoying the platform, but I do want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is
this your retirement?
Yeah, I do want to slow down a little bit, just because I got a family now, but at the same time I'm still here, still around, and honestly I had so much more fun at the 2 Power Cruise events this year, and no other night activities.
It's a lot less risk.
And even like the morning shows, I didn't even attend many morning shows. We attended them early in the year, but then after that we didn't really attend any. But at the end of the day, like, I still had plenty of content. I still had a lot of fun this year, and just doing other things with your car. Like, how many times you go out every week, you see the same people over and over again? Is it really interesting to see each other every single weekend, 3 times a week? I just feel like you don't get that spice to go back to the event anymore.
I kind of agree with you on that one. I mean, to be fair, like, my conversations at every car. That's one of the reasons I started a podcast. Is like, I like to talk to people for like an hour because there's always so much to catch up on. And, you know, and you and I like kind of both understand. It's like we know so many people, so like you can never catch up with everybody. But Buck Hill, for example, is one of those. Like, I just can't go every week. It's every week, 15 minutes from my house. Like, I'm good. You know, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I've yet to do a Buck Hill, but like me crossing the cities to go down there on a Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah. Wednesday night, yeah, that's a little tough with kids and stuff.
Yeah. Priorities.
Where are you at?
North Branch.
Okay.
Yeah, so coming down even to here, yeah, it's...
That's it. So I'm in Hudson. So the same thing.
Yeah,
it seems like all of the car stuff goes on over in that corner, right, where Harris is.
Yeah,
Yeah, coming from North Branch, you'd be driving through the same crap IM 694 over to...
It's tough.
Yeah.
Gas is expensive now, especially when you start to get these higher boost levels and higher horsepower. I get like 5 miles a gallon, 6 miles a gallon, and I'm carrying 2 fuel jugs right now. I drove the Mustang down. I was like, how cool it be?
I saw that out there. I thought, it's 50 degrees in Thanksgiving tomorrow, so...
I love driving the car. Car gets driven a lot.
How many miles do you have on it now?
18,000 miles.
What'd you buy it at?
Pretty much brand new is 1,000 miles.
Wow. Okay. So you got 18,000 miles. The car's never really been down outside for upgrades.
Yeah. So only time it gets driven to the track and raced and drives home. So car gets driven. I love driving it. It's just when people ask, can you daily it? Yeah, to an extent. It depends how much you want to fill up on gas, because gas is expensive and it does eat gas like no other. But
well, on your current setup, it definitely is gas. Yeah, because like those have decent MPG stock, I think, right?
Yeah, they do pretty good. It's like 22 miles a gallon.
Yeah, the second you go to E85, it's game over.
Yeah, it's super game over.
Yeah.
Because I can still get 16, 17 in my orange car with the Whipple on it.
Oh, okay.
And even the GT500, now that you take the wing out of track mode, that I've learned that I can get 14.
Nice.
So
you're on corn then too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. It's just always on E85. I've never once had 93 in it, honestly.
So you just go to the gas station, fill up with the E85?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're testing out E70 right now, which is fine. I'm not racing, not doing anything crazy, but
do you have a tune for like any of those like race fuels or anything like that?
Nope. It's just strictly E85.
It would be interesting to see what that car would do on one ethanol.
I want to see what it will make with one ethanol. I don't know about R. I think R is just way too spicy, but it'd be just cool to see what it'd do with a dyno, because the first time we tuned that car was like E63 back in April and made over 900. So I was like, dang, if only we had like one R or something. But I don't know, it's what it is. And then this past dyno event, it only had like 70%. So I don't know. There could be more to be. Could be more, could be less. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to see.
Yeah, just
bring a barrel of it, because like a lot of these guys, like some of these guys, buy pallets of it, like a few barrels of it.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That's next level though.
Yeah, and you got to be using it up because it doesn't store well.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah. You have to put all that stuff back in my house, and
well, you would use a whole barrel in one Power Cruise, I think.
You said 55 gallons, right?
Yeah, I would use a whole barrel at one event. Yep, just me. Assuming everything goes well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely use it all up.
It just would be fun to see. I'm just the man of many bad decisions.
Yeah.
You've talked me into a few, I know.
Yeah.
I've talked you into good decisions too, though.
That's true.
Yeah, he was looking at getting like a GTR or a GTS, and
so I almost switched platforms too when I blew up one of my other cars. So, but yeah, I fell back into the Mustang.
Yeah, I keep looking every day. Look, but then it just comes back to, I don't want to be caught lacking in a Lambo or a Ferrari. As cool as they are, any modified car is going to come up to you, and especially if they know you too, I'm going to come spank you. All it takes is a mild, B58, just Man, there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many rolling around here. You're gonna get spanked.
Well, you run into a different level too of modding something else. So let's say you get into an exotic or even a GTR. There's no $6,500 supercharger kit for a car like that. It doesn't exist.
No, that's one thing that I'm glad I didn't go and do it.
What does a VF supercharger cost on a Lambo? But even then, like, they're not that
14,000.
Yeah, but then again, they're also 800 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, only
Get spanked by a Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what I love about the platform is the amount of people that the amount of feelings I've hurt in that car, and every year people keep coming back. I'm like, I've upgraded my car. Let's try it again. Like, okay, let's see what it does. I was like, well, I had another $10,000 to mods. Let's see what it does. Whole new supercharger. Let's see what it does. It's like, okay, and it's the same result. The car, the hype is real in the car. It does great, and I drive it to the track and I drive it home. And I don't know. It's just really, I keep saying that, but like it's true. People have seen it. People think that I'm at the track every single day racing these people on my videos. Like, no, they were from 2 events this year only.
So would you not consider a Supra then, just because of that built trans? Because that's all you have to build is the trans, right?
Yeah, so I spec'd it out. I don't know too much. I think when you go to like a CSF intake manifold, it's like $5,000 that has port injection. Like, okay, that's quite the upgrade. And then you talk about a turbo kit and turbo, probably like $6-7 grand.
And I'm building a trans. I think was 12.
Yeah, so their pure stage 2 trans is like, I think 11 or 12,000, and then you still do fuel system of some sort, and that's where I kind of stopped. I was gonna ask Rat, what they're doing for their fuel system, because the one thing I hate about my Mustang was I did my fuel system 3 times because it started out with like, I'll be happy with 700. Okay, so you just spec out a 700 horsepower fuel system. Well, I want to up the boost. Okay, well, you need to buy a new fuel system or change this up because you only have a 700 horsepower spec'd fuel system. You need bigger lines. You need bigger fuel pumps. Okay, well, let's do that. Okay, so we did that. And then it's like, we're still having issues. How would you just try doing this? So I've done the fuel system 3 times now. And I wish from the beginning I would have just, what they say, buy once, cry once kind of deal. And ultimately, I should have spent that extra $800 and just bought this fuel system I currently have, rather than doing the setup 3 times. And you talk about 3 times plus labor, pulling everything up. Because once you switch from like a -6 line, go -8, go -10. I'm -10 now. You have to rip out the whole entire fuel system. It's not just, we just replace the fuel pumps. The whole line has to come out, and that takes time.
It takes a little bit of time. It's not horrible.
No.
What's nice is you rip the back seat out, the fuel pump's right there, the lines go underneath, zip time along there. It's not horrible, but yeah, it's
time consuming.
It doesn't, because you're running a pressure regulator, it doesn't matter if you have a 1,200 horsepower fuel system and you're only running 600 horse. Like you said, plan out your goals, and then buy parts that support that. Because I've done the same thing. I've been like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this. Then I go to this level, and I'm like, oh crap, now I need this. So then you end up, and if you just spent that extra right out the gate, you wasted all that other money in between.
So I'm sitting with extra parts. So if anyone wants a radium hat for a Mustang, 2011 plus Mustang,
Okay, welcome to Monoxide Marketplace.
So we do have extra parts sitting around, but just stuff like that. It just why I can't really justify it. I like the Supra, but at the same time, I'm back to I can't take my son with me. I can't put the 2 drag radials in the back seat. I can't put a jack. I mean, I could probably put a jack back there, but I can't carry everything I need to carry that I do with my Mustang.
Have you thought about putting a hitch on the back of your Mustang? Not to pull a trailer, but even just to have one of those baskets in the back? I've thought about it.
There's that girl, 1320 chick, that has like a little hitch or a little thing, and she puts her wheels and jugs in the back. And I was joking with her. I said, I put everything that you have on that little hitch inside my car. She's like, oh my God, let me see. And that show, it's like, it actually fits in there? Like, yeah, it's tight fit, but yeah, everything does fit inside the Mustang. She's like, wow, I have to try that next time. But it's just funny. But yeah, I don't know. I just, every time I want to switch, I'm back to where I am.
Yeah.
It's tough because like that's where Dave's at too. Because like I don't think was Dave. I can't remember. We had him on a podcast. He said he was not looking for that car, but then he's just like, fucking A, it does everything I need it to.
Yep.
Because like he also drives around with his kids in the back. And it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. And kind of like we're going to like, I really do want to try Euro so bad. But
We'll see what Sean does because Sean just picked up his M3. So
Oh, yeah?
we will see what he does with that.
What, is that a G80?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
See, I really like that platform.
It's expensive though.
It is expensive. It seems like the potential's there though for that price category. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what things go.
We'll see what he does. He's gonna come tuned up for Texas 2K. Hopefully, we'll see. He's probably gonna enjoy the car for a little bit because he just got it.
Yeah.
But knowing him, that fucker's gonna be tuned up by Texas 2K.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not sure if the trans are a limiting point in that car either. I forget.
Because like that S50, I think the motor's like mostly built already.
For what I understand, it is.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll have to talk.
too
Well,
sure.
there's gonna be some shop cars around here that are doing. I was talking with Rat literally just before you got here about that platform. There's a few shops around here that are experimenting with them, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, experimenting would be cool. Especially, I just feel like Minnesota's just so lacking compared to other states.
I think
As
we're
far
working
as,
our
like-
way up there, though.
We are, but like when you think, let's just talk Mustang real quick.
What have we been doing for the last hour and a half?
How many Mustangs are boosted up here that actually run around that you could really think of?
You can count them on one hand, probably.
Yeah, probably on one hand, but like you go to Florida, Texas, Southern states. I mean, they're everywhere. That's just what you see, and like there's some other platforms too, like Civics. Civics are just huge down south too. They're just built up like crazy, and you come up here. Not saying that we don't have a strong Civic scene either, but how many Civics you actually see are like decent sized turbo pushing 6, 7, 800 running around?
What do you think it is that's the limiting factor in our scene?
I honestly don't know. It's hard to figure out, but I don't know.
I think we
So-
have the shops.
We have also here though. When you live here and you have a car like that, you have to have two cars. So if you think about some people that are down south, because I see a lot. Like you were at that Mustang show with me. And I'm not a young guy by any means, but we're probably some of the youngest guys there, right?
Yeah,
It's all they buy their 5.0 and they drive it around. That's whatever. They're not interested in boosting the car. It's a fun little muscle car for them to drive around in a weekend drive with their.
Yep.
Now that Mustang club tends to have some older people.
Yeah,
in
they
it
definitely
anyway.
old.
Yeah, I
Older.
was in that club for a while. But here it's like you have to spend $10,000 minimum to boost your car. But now I also need a Civic. I need a CRV. I need something to drive me around in the winter time too. So that's another 10 grand. So maybe they just aren't. You can't afford to do that, or you don't have the garage space.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I also think it's even in like the car show scene, right? Because we do a lot of like import cars, right? There's not many cars that are like wide body and bagged here either compared to like southern states. If you go to like a southern state, like you will see bagged cars. You come up here and it's like, this is all we got to offer, some wheels and the spoiler. I just feel like we're so lacking everywhere as far as the car aspect goes compared to other states.
I think we might just have a lot less enthusiasts, maybe, when you think about it, because for example, now that your GT500's put away, you're gonna go snowmobiling the rest of the season, pretty much, right? Because that's winter. Like we have, I think it's made because we have 2 different seasons, so we have more hobbies, maybe. So like cars in the summer, and then snow.
Well, then also we're number 2 in boat ownership in this area. Florida's number 1.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, even in the summer, like all those other toys and stuff, recreational vehicles, like side by sides are 20 grand now. It's you got all these other hobbies.
Yeah,
and
at
things
least.
Too, people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess when you put it that way, because we have boating if we don't have cars.
that's true.
We have a lot of hobbies up here, I guess.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, side by sides get a lot of people. There's a lot of cool side by sides at Power Cruise. Like,
Yeah.
I had mine I went to a Superbike event. I had some friends that were racing, and they convinced me to bring my Yamaha Viking up, which seats 6.
oh wow.
And I didn't know what happens at that. This is my first time at BIR. I did not know that once the lights go out at that place, like when the sun goes down, it turns into a whole nother level of place. And we were in my side by side There's literally no rules, nobody's stopping you, and we were probably out doing things we shouldn't have been doing way late into the night. It was. I don't know if I could go there without having a side by side again. Just to get around that place is.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that just shows you is like the amount of money you need in a trailer, a side by side, a golf cart, and your race car.
Oh, I had a 40-foot fifth wheel camper with a trailer behind it with my side by side on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted to bring a race car, now I got a whole nother problem.
Hey, I don't want to get to that yet.
Yeah.
There's just so much. I guess that's where we're at scene wise. That would make sense. That's the most logical explanation.
Yeah, I'd like to see what other people think about that though. It's just why do we lack so much? I mean,
4 months out of the year is the only time you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, but then I would assume that your car would be extra spectacular because if you can only drive it like that many months out of the year, I don't know. I just feel like
people aren't as motivated to get their shit done too, right?
Yeah, I do know a lot of people that have just fallen off the face of earth.
Think about winter, right? Like, okay, like let's say you're trying to get a build done throughout the winter, and things are behind, whether it's parts or shop or everything. By the time you get to June or July, you're like, fuck it, I'll be out next year.
Yeah,
because like then you're like, oh, I only have 2 months of the season left.
Yeah,
I think that might be another part of it.
Not as many people build their cars over the winter either. You would think that'd be logical. But when I talk to some shops, they're like, no, we actually kind of die down in the wintertime. And everybody's in the springtime. Everybody's like, oh, crap, I got to get my car going.
Yeah.
In March is when it gets crazy. And, yep, definitely. That's why I want to get mine done before or, early winter or, early spring or, it's when I want to get my stuff done. But now that I'm ahead, the car is done, I should be able to do 2K, Texas 2K.
We'd love to see you down there.
Absolutely.
You should come down with Brian because Brian wants to come down too.
CTSV Brian.
Yeah, I need to get him back on for where are they now?
You should get him on. He's like improved like crazy. I remember him talking to me the first time, like how I got into TikTok and stuff. And I just post. Yeah, well, someone's gonna like your car.
Did I have him before or after you? I can't remember.
Before.
Yeah. So then the car was working, so then he's like, "Fuck it, let's get a bigger turbo." What has he got? Big ass turbo on there now, big single.
He reached out to that company they sponsored. They just gave him a big old I want to say it's like an 88 or 90 mil turbo.
It's the size of his kid.
Yeah, it's huge. They gave him a big old turbo, and then they just did all this amazing fab work. It's one of a kind CTSV. No other CTSVs really have a big single out of the hood, and never got it finished. We had like a big rivalry early on. Like, I'm gonna go beat that Mustang, and then people are like cheering me on because the whole TikTok fan or group, they kind of know me as the Orange Mustang, and then I beat Brian, and Brian's like, I'm coming back with a big old turbo. So like our episodes were like doing good. Like people were going back and forth between us, and me and him just having a blast with it. Like, wow, people were actually fired up about this. This is awesome. It creates views, and then he just never got it done. And I was like, Brian, I got one more video of a random black CTSV that looks like it blew up, and I could say it's you, so I could give you more time to finish your build. So he's like, do it. So then I posted it up, and we're having fun. I don't know if it actually hurt his feelings or not, but then he just switched up his whole build again, and I was like, dang, I never got to see your car actually run, which is it's unfortunate, but like I tell people, there's no rush because we'll always still be here. There's no rush to get anything done and have it not work when it needs to work,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And honestly, he's one of those guys, like, he's here just to have fun, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's such a blast, dude.
Brian's amazing. I remember when he first picked up his CTSV, he just hit me up out of the blue. He's like, I'm picking up this V. Can you come meet me? I'm like, sure. I mean, I've never really talked to you in person really before, but yeah. So then he took me out for a rip in his V for the first time because I had one and inspired him to get one. So, but yeah, now he knows the whole Mustang hype, so I'm trying to get him to switch too.
You're inspiring people to sell their shit.
Yeah, a lot of people, I believe it or not, like a lot of people say, like, you've inspired me to buy a Mustang and get an ESS. Like, I was like, that's awesome. Like, I was like, Ford, I need commission. Come on.
We're gonna get a hotline set up.
Don't worry, I've been trying that. If there's no better advocate for Ford than me, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. I just hope one day. I'm sure Ford sees these videos because when ESS reached out, they're like, yeah, the whole shop watches it. Like everyone here watches your videos, and Ford Tech was the same way. Like, we watch your videos. We want you to be over here, and I was like,
You broke their heart, man.
Yeah. I didn't say anything bad. I was like, we had 1,600 some poles on the Vortec V3. Like 1,600 some poles in a short year and a half out there running it. We snapped 4 or 5 belts. I had my fair share of Vortec, but kit works great, though. Blower did great. Once we figured out the belt issues and just always had belts on hand because that's just Supercharger life, right?
Yep.
Once you get past all that, I mean, the kit it's phenomenal. It worked great. Mm-hmm. It hurt a lot of feelings too. So
they're not a bad company by any means.
No.
If you have a Vortec, don't worry about having to think you got to go sell it and get an ESS.
Don't switch.
I've worked with them on some of the older Celine stuff that we have, and I've sent blowers out to them. They rebuilt them, sent them back.
Oh yeah,
they're very easy to get parts from. That's not they're not a bad company by any means.
Yeah, and like I tell people, even like tuners, we could debate tuners all day long, but at the end of the day, Majid works great for me. He does what I need him to do, and I can have a normal conversation like this with him.
Yep.
And I think just building that connection with your tuner and having a personal level of like what I need it to do, what I need my car to do, that goes way further than Joe over there has a world record car from this tuner. You should go get tuned by them. Like, I'm not gonna get a world record tune, nor do I care for a world record.
Yeah.
It'd be different if I was like, I'm pushing world records. I want to push world record, or
we'll get you there
one day. But
you have a shop that you work through, right? Like you have Mo's, and do you talk with Majid directly, or do you
a little
work
bit of
through
both?
them?
A little bit of both. I talk to Majid when I'm like, when I need something on the fly, like if it's just a tune or like cars acting up, I'll just data log it, send it to him.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like, oh, Majid, like we got a whole new supercharger, we're going twin turbo or something, something crazy like that. And then Mo's obviously they get their parts and stuff. Like, well, then if I have to deal with the shop, then I let the shop do their thing,
right?
Because they take care of the tuning and everything, because that's their own scheduling and stuff too. So it kind of works hand in hand.
Find somebody who has you can get a good relationship with. So I've had Bowen do a bunch of stuff for me, and I've been on rallies and had the car do something weird, and it could be on a Sunday, and I can call him and be like, hey, or I send him a text. If he gets back at me right away, him and I'll be on the phone. He's like, hey, do a crank relearn, let's do this. Bang, I'm back on the road.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes I've been back and forth on this tuner thing too, having all of these Fords that I have, and I'd like to try different things. So I have the Pro Charger, I have the Whipple, so I'm always testing out different stuff. And I'm still trying to build that tuner relationship with somebody that gets you a good. I worked with Mo early on when he first opened his shop, and at that point, Mo was going to tuning school, stuff like that. They didn't really have. He wasn't comfortable doing the Coyote stuff at that point. Now it sounds like you guys have a good system. We may need to talk again.
Definitely. I feel like I'm a test guinea.
Yeah.
No, but I think they've pretty much got it all figured out. Car does great, and I brought my black Mustang to Bowen for the first time too, and we had a lot of good success out there. And he was saying, "Wow, like people are coming in like crazy for tuning. What did you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I've been like posting videos of me racing." So that's where I kind of got started. And then, fortunately, Casey didn't tune anymore. And then when I built my Vortex setup, I needed a tuner now. And Majid was the only one that answered me. Lund got a call, Palm Beach got a call. Everyone pretty much got a call. And, well, are you going to do it now or, like, in 2 days? So
yeah, that's
we
the
need
problem.
the car up and now, like, running now. And Majid answered the phone. He got it up and running. I said, perfect. He's got my business.
Yeah.
There's nothing more you can really ask for. Like, if he answers the phone, he gets your business.
Absolutely. Well, I went that route one time, too. I had somebody actually gave me the time of day, but that tuning was...
Yeah,
very, very bad. It was
it could go both ways. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I can tell people, like, if you have a good relationship and your car works fine, don't switch.
Right.
Don't
try and chase the numbers. That's the other thing that I've heard you talk about too. Who cares if it's working for you? You're having a good time. You're obviously whipping some ass out there, and I've seen you. Like, I think I heard Harris say on the last one. You also post your losers too. Like, it doesn't. Yeah. You're having a good time. That's all that matters. You want the car to perform and not blow up, right? So who cares? You're so close to 4 digits, but are you like all butthurt about it? No.
I need an extra 10 horsepower.
Right. I had a friend of mine that had a GT500 and he hit like 9 86, and he was so pissed that he didn't hit 1,000. I'm like, dude, who cares?
Yeah.
That car eventually blew up, by the way.
Was it green?
No, it was a 1314. It was red.
Oh, red.
Yeah.
Because I raced Eric's GT500, the Ruby Red. I don't know if you know him, but I think he made like 997 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, dang, how much does it hurt you made 997 and not 1,000? I mean, deep down inside, it would kind of hurt, you know, because I feel like 1,000, like everyone wants to crack 1,000, but like realistically, though, it's not something that's attainable for a lot of people.
No.
And definitely your bank is going to be hurting a little bit too.
I mean, it can be attainable if you get yourself a Mustang and an ESS Procharger. Not Procharger. I keep saying Procharger. God damn it.
So one guy was arguing with that for today, like the longest time. Like, it's a Procharger. Like, no, it's a ESS.
It
No.
does have. It's like
It's a
Kleenex. Yeah, it's exactly. People have done that. Yeah.
Yes, that's funny. But yeah, so like the whole supercharger war and tuner war, I just tell people, if it works fine for you, don't switch. Just because I'm having good success out here with ESS and Majid doesn't mean everyone should switch to ESS and Majid.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have bad apples everywhere, right? Just like so and so over here doesn't have always great customers. You know, there's always gonna be bad customers and bad products, or parts fail.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, most of the time, like the tune's not off, but you have parts that fail. So then they blame the tuner. Well, the tuners only can do so much, but realistically, you have to look at your parts. And I think that going back to what we said, me being able to look at the logs and see what I need to see, or see the things that I know what to look at.
Yep. It
goes so much further than having the tuner lock everything and me being dead in the water waiting for an email. So what do I know? Like, I'm not trying to wait for that 2-day turnaround time or pay extra $500 for the platinum tune for 24/7 support.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So you can get that kind of support if you want to pay that kind of money.
which I think
which is kind of crazy, the amounts that they want for that too.
Yeah, it's like, really? And I don't know, maybe that's why they're making so much more horsepower, but it also comes back to like, I'm on a pretty conservative tune still. With my whole setup, it's been fairly conservative. You talk about 15 pounds of boost. That's not even cracking like anything crazy for a Coyote. 15 pounds of boost, you're just...
I've seen VMP run a Coyote up to 30 psi.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
Yeah, they've been pretty crazy. So I'm fairly moderate, and I would say it's conservative, and I'm just there to have fun. I'm not chasing numbers, nor do I care about, you know, cracking some crazy drag times, because I don't drag race. So what I am concerned about is, can we do 80 pulls a day? That's what I'm really after, and
Just having fun.
just having fun. And
I like it.
Not a lot of people understand that either. They'll do 2-3 hits and put the car away on a trailer.
Yeah, how much fun is that?
That's not fun for me, man.
No.
I'm out there doing back-to-back pulls all the way along 160, 180, and the car's fine. Drive it home too. So,
So, since this is your first time, do you know how the last question? So this is before you.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I listened to your first episode again today
yeah.
just to kind of refresh my memory. Yeah, the question wasn't in play then.
Yeah, that was. So we implemented the question. You know about the question, right?
yeah, the cars.
Yeah, that we implemented that at Texas
Oh,
2K.
tough.
So let's see. Let's give Dan his first go around on this one. I'll help you out if need be.
All right, sounds good. So something we like to ask everybody. I'm saying we now, like I'm just part of this already now, right?
You are.
All right. So we like to ask 3 cars: track car, daily, and show car. Unlimited budget. Only limitation is your imagination.
Man,
What do you do?
that is a crazy question. I knew you were gonna ask that, but so I'm so minimalistic. Is that the word? Minimal.
Practical.
Practical.
Yeah.
Because
Did you hear Rat's answer when he was on? He's like, just give me a truck. I don't care which truck.
yeah, and my daily, like, I love my CRV. It does great. It does what I need it to do.
Wow, I think that's got to be a new one for daily, right?
I don't need anything fancy. It does what I
Yeah.
need to. It's got CarPlay.
So CRV, you're locking that in?
Yeah, and CRV is great. Kind of sidetracked here, but like we had the Tesla, and the Tesla didn't have CarPlay, and I was so mad. It was like, we got this amazing Tesla Play for you. I'm like, yeah, but I got to configure everything else. Like, what? I can't just plug in my phone and go. Nope. But so that's my daily. Yeah, CRV is just fine. My track car, man, I don't know, because I don't really like track like that. I am a straight line kind of guy. But the one car that caught my eye at Power Cruise was probably the McLaren 720S. And I got to see one in person, sit in one, and then I was like, yeah, this is a little out there, but I've never driven anything like this or like do all these crazy track stuff, right? But I think a 720S would be kind of cool. I don't know how practical that would be on the track. No idea.
Well, practicality's not in this here, right? Yeah, that's,
But I don't know. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool to have a 720S. I still keep shopping for one every day. Look at one.
there was a bargain GT for sale not that long ago.
Yeah.
And then show car.
Show car. Gosh, I don't even know. What do I like, man?
Dude, he's gonna go through a midlife crisis right now. Figure out.
After talking with him for this time we've been here, this question is all up in the air. I thought too.
Yeah, I don't know. Show car.
Would you go classic or newer?
I'd probably go new. I don't know.
You a bags guy or no?
No, I don't care for.
Okay, no bags.
Bags.
Euro or American or JDM?
Yeah, probably be like Euro or something. I don't know. I just for a show car.
I mean, some people have said Koenigsegg Regera in the past. So I mean, we're talking unlimited budget here.
Unlimited budget. You know, I
dare to dream.
That one's tough. A show car. I don't know. I think a Ferrari looks really nice.
Okay. We're in Ferraris.
Yeah, I think that would be the standard for a show car for me. I don't know what kind of Ferrari, but I think just Ferrari as the name would do pretty good for me as a show car. I'm not big into show cars.
Like a 458. Would you go naturally aspirated or turbo? we got to nail this down.
Naturally aspirated for sure.
So then if you go naturally aspirated, you got the F430, the 458, everything. All the older ones, who gives a shit? But
I think 458 because that's what I've heard of before.
That one rings a bell.
Yeah, that one rings a bell. 458. But yeah, I don't know. I think these are very tough questions. Like someone that never driven one, a sand one, seen one really like that, driven one kind of like that. So I think Ferrari, to me, sounds like a very good show car.
Everywhere you go, everybody's looking. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of them out. To be honest with you.
Well, that's the thing, especially since they stopped, making naturally aspirated Ferraris. Like they're worth a good bit too. And there's, dude, a straight piped 458. Dude, sounds like an F1 car. It's just out of this fucking world. Like my buddy has one, dude, and it's the craziest sounding car ever. The only other thing I'm about to start a whole fight on the internet. I don't know, popular, unpopular opinion. I think that the F430 sounds just a hair better than the 458. So if you look at like the comparison videos online, it's like everybody says 458 because it's the newer one, of course, but the F430 is so insane, like straight piped. It's crazy. But that's just me. Anyways, where can people find you?
Yeah, check me out on 651MyGarage. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, pretty much all the social media platforms out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And we just keep pumping out these racing videos, and we'll see everyone at Power Cruise 2024.
And if you or a loved one has been hurt by Mike's Mustang, please reach out. The hotline below now. We got to create a hotline for you.
Yeah.
Dan, where can people find you, my part-time co-host?
You can find us at Gunna Garage. I say us because I do this with my wife and kids and all that stuff. So that's hopefully they figure this out more than I do. But yeah, Gunna Garage on all of the same stuff Mike just listed.
Yeah, Gun It with two N's.
Two N's,
and then,
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
People will get used to that soon.
Yeah, it's my son Gunner started the whole thing. He used to say Gun It all the time, so we kind of morphed it into this. Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome stuff. And then as for me, you're on my podcast. You found me, Monoxide Everything. Please make sure you're signing up for the newsletter. I try not to spam those too much, but with the upcoming things this winter, it's going to be cool. I'm going to have my first ever merch drop. So that'll be really cool. I'm super stoked for that. Trevor's been working a lot on that. He creates amazing stuff, like that sticker over there. I'll get you a sticker after this, sir. People love that, dude. Like, it's just like, that's the thing. When you create quality stuff, people want to rep it. So I'm super excited on that. I'm still waiting on my Raise a Hood banner, but that is the official sponsor of the podcast so far until I get more. So I still got to put that together at some point. Just so much going on, man. You know how it is when you're creating content. It's never ending.
Yeah, it's endless. And even talking today, like we could keep talking about everything.
Oh, we're over 2 hours, by the way.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The content's endless. I mean, you just talk about 2 days of the track. I mean, we're still going on the same content. So
Which is crazy to me.
Well, then full time in the trades, like that's the industry I'm into. That's already long
drained.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, if you guys do want a fast Audi, Audi, Supra, I don't know, Rat works on a little bit of everything. Come here to Ratified Motorsport if you want to beat Mustangs.
Ask him for the Mustang build.
The Mustang killer.
He'll hook you up. He'll know exactly
Yeah.
what you need, and it's gonna be a pretty penny.
Tell me you want to beat that stupid orange car you see everywhere.
Which one of his builds have beat you?
The grade TTRS has beaten me.
That's Chase's, right?
Yep, Chase has beaten me. Rat's RS3 has not taken me yet. I'll say that again.
That's also
RS3.
because he rolls 4 deep, right?
Yep.
But so do you.
Yep. He had a boost leak. He was on the map 1 out of 5 accidentally, and well, he'll have to catch me on 2021 season. But their Supra definitely beat me, but I had dead fuel pump, so I don't know if you can count that one either. I don't know. Rat's good competition, though.
All right, so
He's good.
Ratified versus 651MyGarage coming 2024.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for coming on, Mike. Dan, thanks for your existence, and see you all next time.
Thank you.